What's that? What's up? The birds of prey fly, fly, fly. Man, they flew high over Cincinnati. I mean, over Kansas City. I mean, they was flying over the mountaintops, looking down on Patrick Mahomes and the rest of his crew, just, just circling like buzzards. But they ain't buzzards because they a majestic bird. They are the Eagles from Philadelphia, who end up winning the Super Bowl 40-22. That's right. That was the final yesterday, as you can see it on the screen. Because I ain't hiding it from nobody. I just had to come on and have some discussions about what went down. That was truly, truly a butt kicking. I mean, when Kansas City left up off the field and out the stadium, the pockets on the back of their pants was up on their shoulders because they got their asses kicked. Clean up to their shoulders, right around the middle area of the neck. Did you feel me? I'm sure that you would. I know that you do. So for all the people that were saying don't bet against Patrick Mahomes, it's not aging so well right now. He's done quite well for himself. This being what, 4 Super Bowls, not winning, but he's appeared in 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. Hey, that's something to take your hat off to for Patrick Mahomes. But you had to see it coming. You had to see it coming. The Eagles was clicking. They were clicking on all cylinders. I mean, firing on all cylinders. From kickoff to the end of the game. It looked like they stayed focused. They didn't start celebrating early. Uh, they just kept their mind totally on the game. These boys pushed forward. They were sacking old Patrick Mahomes. He was down under pressure. It just, it was just a tide of overwhelming uh, speed, strength, execution of the plays. They played an exceptional game. They didn't get off the gas. They put their foot on the neck of the Eagles. I mean, of the Chiefs. Forgive me, because I've been saying Eagles so much that it just happened to fall out my mouth whenever I'm getting ready to speak about something on football because I watched a great Super Bowl last night. Great on the half of the Eagles who went out there and performed on the offensive side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, special teams. At one point, you do realize all the way to the fourth quarter where they end up to the third quarter, all the way up to the third quarter, the Eagles kicker, the guy that kicks the field goals, had more points than Kansas City's team. Let that sink in. He had more points than their team. Every time the dude got ready to kick the ball, it was a penalty. I mean, every time he went for a field goal, there was a penalty. I guess they were trying to ice him, but he proved to be uniceable. The boy proved to be on point, totally on point. I see my computer trying to do that old take off and fly thing, but we're gonna try to handle that. Hopefully the noise don't be all in there on the record. But anyway, man, I don't know. Y'all gotta talk to me. Y'all gotta talk to me. I know this is a surprise for me to be showing up on a Monday. That's right, on a Monday. And I know I sent the call out for 7 o'clock. It's just 6:56. I'm just opening up early. Now, let me go in and say the basics like I always do. This episode of Musically Zone Talks Boxing comes to you by HW Wicks, handcrafted candles. Their motto is relax and enjoy. Once again, that's HW Wicks, handcrafted candles, scented candles. I mean, the sense to make you go, ah. Got some stinky feet, we got a candle for it. Bathroom stink, we got a candle for it. Somebody ain't smelling too culture in the bedroom, we got a candle for it. We also are presented by the Block family, which started on Marlowe's Corner. So I salute to the Block family because they always stand behind us. And the Track Titans, where we get all our tracks from and all our songs. Now, with that being said, For those of you who are showing up, let's have some fun to talk about. We're gonna go ahead and do like we usually do. Let the family start falling in and everything getting set. So with that, we always start off with something a little fresh. I'm gonna go on and hit you with You Can't, featuring Legit Born. Once again, that's You Can't by Legit Born.
I tell them you can't get like me, yo man, ain't shit like me. Pack strong, hit like me, broke, can't sit by me. Gang, gang, beside me, we ride till we D.I.E. Bang, bang, don't try me, that fire always be by me. You can't get like me, yo man, ain't shit like me. Pack strong, hit like me, broke, can't sit by me. Gang, gang, beside me, we ride till we D.I.E. I'm gassed up, ignite me, my cash up, too lit, I be up. I'm a type of nigga that says shit straight. I never did hate, that's a bitch nigga trait. By any means, baby, I'ma get to the cake. I been a real nigga, so it ain't for debate. Beefing with me, get you hit with a stake. She left you for me, saying you the mistake. I can't be replaced. No. Saving what hoes? Do you see me with a cake? I hustle from sun up to sundown. If a hater run up, he get walked down. We be up in that stick on who talk down. Reaching for my shit, 5-5. I be putting in work, I don't clock out. Talking dirty, you niggas get mouthed out. Shout it like how I kick it like Kung Lao. Cause these niggas be chicken, compound. I ain't wanna do it, but have to. I'm the shit like I live in the bathroom. Pull up, eat it, and dip, she fast food. Girl, let me show you what this cash do. I'm going nuts like the cashews. My name in they mouth with a bad mood. Not a brokey, I go with a cash move. I'ma set this shit off if I have to. Hey. Niggas ain't built like me, bionicles, but you self-made. It's ironic though, you original but you be copying. I'm about my coins, I got that sonic flow. Bruce Lee, Roy, bitch, I got the glow. Probably run a ticket up at Papa Do's. Call me Young Atomic cause I'm about to blow, nigga. Pause, no homo, no homo. You can't get like me, yo man, ain't shit like me. Pack strong, hit like me, broke, can't sit by me. Gang, gang, beside me, we ride till we D.I.E. Bang, bang, don't try me, that fire always be by me. You can't get like me.
We are back talking about the Eagles. They flew high over Kansas City. Now, when the game first started off, I thought, excuse me, I thought Saquon Barkley was finna start running all over those boys. When they get handed in the ball the first time, it looked like he was gonna start off to having a great game. You got to give it to the Chiefs, who went over and beyond to try to make sure they kept him, Saquon Barkley, from just running loose all over the field. My friend, my brother, Joseph Brown, we call him the Honorable Joe Brown. He was one of the ones that they were screaming from the Raptors, the rooftops. He said, MZ, the Eagles have too many weapons. They got weapons everywhere. They got a running back. They got a quarterback. They got receivers. They got a defense that is ridiculous, fast, strong, hungry, hostile, mobile, agile. Trey X, my other brother, he said it way at the beginning of the season. He was picking those boys to go in there and do something. If I'm remembering correct, he was screaming that the Eagles was one of the Super Bowl teams that he expected to show up. Eric Carr, he was talking about it. Man, I can just go down the list of people, brothers, that was telling me the Eagles was going to do their thing. I got to give shouts out to Pat, my sister, Patricia Adore. Y'all got to realize that's Big Sis team. If y'all don't know, that's my brother, Manny Draper, Maestro. That's his wife. She's an Eagles fan. So, I got to give salutes to her because I know she's going to hear the show. And I got to let it be known to all the Eagles fans, But congratulations. They put a little change in my pocket. And the only reason I knew they put some change in my pocket, I had no doubt. When Trey X hollered at me, he said, hey, we're going to go ahead and put something down on the Eagles, man. We're going to go ahead and put something down on them because that's what it is. So, I don't argue. I don't ask a bunch of questions. Man is proven when he tell me to pick something, I pick it. Don't give it a second thought. Don't look at it no more. he made a good quote about me the other day. He said, MZ, you kind of like on the outside. When I send it to you, you just play it and that's it. You know, you got other people that they smarter than me when it comes to picking picks and stuff like that. I had no problem saying that. They a little more adapt to that, doing that. That's they feel. It's really not my field. So, you know, I get in where I fit in. I don't push too hard. I don't make too much noise. You know what I'm saying? I do what I do. Oh, without a doubt, bro. I'll give you a second. You know, do what you need to do. I feel you. I'm just here to talk about the way these boys did. Now, like I'm saying, or like I have said, I give the Chiefs some prop for going out there and trying to make sure they kept that beast of a running back under control. And for, you could say for a fair amount, they did. But then the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, he decided to say, you know what? Since y'all trying to be all over my running back, my receivers ain't got quite cooking yet. Let me go ahead and scramble a little bit. Now, I was surprised. I didn't know this dude had it in him like that. Oh, okay, my volume down. Let me see if I can't fix that. See if I can get this ought to go right. Y'all let me know if where is it? I'll take that off. Make control of myself. How we sounding right there? Am I still low? Still low. Can you hear me now? Y'all let me know if I'm a little better on sound. Maybe that'll do it. Keep that stereo audio. Okay. We say that. Yeah. All right. How that sound as far as sound go? Let me know. Check myself. 1 2 1 2. Stay up on. I think that might get it. Let me keep my ass up where I'm supposed to. It's still the same. Oh man. What about now? Let me get this out the way because I can't be having this. I can't be having my volume being low, and I'm trying to talk about these birds of prey flying all over Kansas City, just doing old boys all kind of ways. Making them understand and respect. Understand and respect. Now, Andy Reid's been in the game a long time. He have his teams getting out there and doing what they need to do. 30 plus years is nothing to sneeze at. But, you know, bragging points for the Eagles is they got a coach that's been to 2 Super Bowls now. They can brag. They got a coach that's been to 2 Super Bowls, but they also got a quarterback that's been to 2 Super Bowls. I like the way he said that the feeling that he had. You know, he pretty much bottled it up, and turned it into a weapon of some sort. And straight up just made it happen. Just went on and made it happen. Google Chrome, I don't need them using my microphone right now. Cut that off. Anyway, as I was saying, giving props to Kansas City for being able to slow down the running back. But like I said, Jalen Hurts got loose. And it looked so effortless the way he was scrambling and running at times. You know, I didn't know the dude, he's deceptively fast. It doesn't look like he's running fast when you're watching it on TV. But the dude got some wheels up under him. I mean, he was eating up yards like a Pac-Man chewing up dots. You know, it was just like that. He was running around just chewing up dots. Just wonka. Y'all know how it is. You played Pac-Man before. Don't play with me. Or you heard Pac-Man. You know the sounds it make. Running from the ghost. He just doing his thing. That first pass with the that the Eagles threw, that the quarterback called, that the receiver called, and y'all gotta forgive me. Once one of my brothers get on here who can call the names out when I'm talking about somebody, they say that's such so and so, and then I remember. I just don't know it's so much I just don't know where to go with it. I was so crunk about the game, sitting down, I watched it with my little girl, and with my brothers on Discord, we conversating all like that. And old Eagles just, dare I say, they crapped all over Kansas City. Kansas City couldn't even get no points in the first half. Think about that. Think about that. They could not garnish any yards. Their rushing game was non-existent. Their passing game was non-existent. They just were there. It was, dare I say, like it was said boldly so many times last night. Those boys didn't look like they deserved to be out there. The words were they didn't belong out there with the Eagles. They just didn't. They weren't good enough. Well, they showed they weren't good enough. What was his name? Patrick Mahomes. Bless his soul. Bless his soul. He didn't give us any signature signs of being frustrated or anything like that. Or he took that ass whooping like a man. He got thrashed with the rest of his team. I mean, thrashed. The Eagles get to go home and have a beautiful parade. Hold up the Lombardi trophy. Stand in front of all their fans and soak it all in. I understand that Jalen Hurts has some words for hey, what's our big boy name? He commentating now. He used to play quarterback for the Panthers, boy number 1. Oh my, Cam Newton. He get a chance to talk back to Cam Newton now, but now he's a Super Bowl champion. He got that thing up under him now. People were trying to talk about him and count him out and say he wasn't this and say he wasn't that. But what say you now? What say you now? You can't say the referees. You can't call on nobody but the play of the Eagles. At one point, man, that defensive line started getting back there so quick and regularly. I was like, man, this dude has no time to try to throw the ball. I mean, no time. He was getting no time at all. And what's her name? Taylor Swift's boyfriend, the tight end. Now, I heard a lot of talk about him. Can't say that I had seen a lot of play from him. But in this game against the Eagles, what I did notice is he can't block. Or maybe he can block, and the guy that he was assigned to block during the game just was that much better. But I can attribute at least 2 plays being under hurried circumstances or a sack that he missed his block, and his man was the one that was back there wreaking havoc. And they was getting back there so quick, Patrick Mahomes just he had nowhere to go. You try to go left, they over there. He tried to go right, they over there. They coming straight up the middle. I mean, they fired in the gaps that they needed to fire in. The linebackers, damn, was fast, man. They were fast. They were in their gaps, in their zones, wherever they needed to be, hitting the gaps to rush the quarterback. They just had the man with happy feet. After he got touched a couple of times, you could see he was quite uncomfortable in the pocket. And when I say uncomfortable, I don't mean like he was scared. I just mean that he knew his progressions had to be a lot quicker because they was coming. Their front line from the Eagles was coming. They was coming and they was coming fast. I can't even think of the play. What was it? The ending of the second quarter, where he got sacked, where they stripped the ball from him, then they smashed on him real good, and recovered the fumble. He threw 2 picks, wasn't it? Wasn't it 2 picks? Y'all let me know if I'm wrong, but 2 picks. He just was unperfect throughout the whole game. I'm sorry. They got 22 points, and today I can understand why there was some people that say, damn, they got off the gas and let them look like they did something, because with that, it looked like, they did something. They didn't. You know what I'm saying? It was, I'm going to put it like Coach Apple would say when we was in college. It's easy for some people to come in and score some points and look like they're doing good when you're getting blown out by the other team. When they blowing you out, you can come in, you can score a bunch of points, and look good. That's in basketball. He talking because you getting blowed out so bad. Same thing here. I'm saying you could see the score at the bottom. They was getting their asses drove, drugged, done, beat down, smothered. D-Lo 404 boxing is in the house. Man, I'm just sitting here, just riding on how good the Philadelphia Eagles did last night. Such a great job how they just flew high over Kansas City, and they did that high flying in New Orleans. Man, I can't say all the commercials for the Super Bowl was all that entertaining like many from the past, but they did have a few good ones. I see they was trying to be a lot more woke, it seemed like, in a lot of these commercials. We'll get to that later. But right now, it's just the fact that for the first half of the game, Kansas City produced 2 goose eggs. Y'all see it on the screen. Y'all see it. Not 1 goose egg, but 2. Oh, yeah. It was a beat that ass session all night long. They just kept on beating them. And ladies, brothers and sisters, what I saw last night, watching the birds of prey flying over the Kansas City Chiefs, picking the carcass of his flesh, cruising up and down the field, it seemed uninhibited. No defense dared to really stop them, unless Saquon Barkley got the ball. And then it seemed like they had all kind of energy. They just were not going to let Saquon beat them. And that's okay. Yeah. Because they had Jalen Hurts back there calling the signals. Oh, belt the ass session, beat that ass session. Both mean the same to me. They got spanked all over the field. That's all. But, if you mean that the BTA was belt the ass session, okay, I'll say it, beat that ass. If you really look at it, at some point, their ass was in trouble, no matter which one of those phrases we use. Trey S used to say, them boys got picked, polished, and demolished. Whoo! That did take place too. Yes, sir, indeed. Damn, my brothers just slid into the building. Trey X, you mentioned his name, and like a magic man, he appeared. What's happening?
Salute.
Trey X.
Salute, man. What's going down, man? Salute to the Eagles. Went out there and handled that business, like we said they was going to do. Made it look easy. D-Lo had it right. It was a belt-to-ass session out there. Them boys ain't had nothing for the Eagles. I have to be honest, I didn't think it was going to be quite that bad, but it is what it is. The bottom fell out on the motherfuckers, and I was happy to see it.
Well, all I can say is you, D-Lo, Joseph Brown, Eric R., my sister Pat, all y'all had the Eagles. You said the Eagles was going to the Super Bowl earlier, way back in the gap when the season first started. I think you said they was a surprise team. D-Lo had already been talking about them. Eric R. was talking about how good they are. And, Joseph Brown was talking about all the different weapons they had. Jalen Hurts, man, I didn't know the dude was that good. Deceptively fast. Because, the way he was running on them last night, it looked effortless. And it didn't look like he was running hard. The one time that he did look like he kind of stepped on the gas to speed up a little bit, you could actually tell the difference in the speed between him and the defense. Ridiculous.
Yeah, football is still football, man. That's the good thing. They tried to devalue the running back. They showed that the running back is still valuable this season. A good team with a strong defense, good running game, and a quarterback that does not turn the ball over can still win in this league. And Jalen Hurts is a step beyond that. Not only does he not turn the ball over, he also makes plays with his legs and with his arm. Went out there and did this motherfucking thing, man. They took him out the championship game in favor of Tua, and he didn't get the championship glory like he should have got if they would have won. So instead, he got NFL glory and the Super Bowl MVP. I'm just pissed at myself. We ain't put no money on the MVP. But it's all good though. We all made a little change. Everybody that I could convince bet on the Eagles. Family members, y'all niggas, my uncles, shit like that. Had fun with it, man. I'm just glad that I ain't let everybody down with the prediction. And we went out there and got that paper, man. You know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah. And I'm gonna be honest. You ain't for people that think when they hear me talk, I give you so much prop on bets and picking shit. Cause it's true. And I don't care what nobody think or how they feel, bro. I'm letting you know. When you told me about it, I didn't hesitate. I didn't think twice about it. Cause you know I don't really watch football like that. Y'all know that. So when you said it, I jumped right on it. Then Big Bro told me that the Eagles is Pat's team. I'm like, wait, what? So it just all fell in perfectly for me. Boy D'Lo said you popped right up like a wizard. He had just spoke your name or typed your name up pretty much, and you came on right on point. He said, yeah, even though the Lions are my team, I told Trey a couple of months back that I didn't think they could beat the Eagles. Well, I don't know what three teams did beat the Eagles, because the way they played last night, the way, even though they took the running back kind of out the game a little bit, they kind of held, they did a pretty decent job with Saquon. Everything else seemed like it just bust open. The doors just, the floodgates, once Hurts started running around on them, it just busted open. They just started getting their asses tore up.
See, but this is the thing, though. A lot of people been giving Saquon flack about the game. Well, let me turn this shit off. People been giving Saquon flack about the game, saying he didn't have a good game. But he had 25 carries. He had 6 catches. I don't remember the yards, but he was falling forward. He wasn't getting tackles for loss and shit like that. He didn't fumble the football, held on to the ball. He did well in blitz pickup. He also had a long pass down the field in the second half, I believe. I think he had a solid game. And they willingness to continue to be dedicated to the run, that helped with balance, and it also opened up that play action where they got that long it might have been a touchdown down the seam or some shit like that off in the end zone. It was a long touchdown pass in the second half of a play action. But all of that come from dedication to the run, man. So I ain't got no problem with Saquon. He didn't have the type of game that I expected him to have or that he wanted to have, but I still think he contributed to the win. But it was just an all-around team win. That's what the team has been all season. They all fuck with each other. They got love for each other. It's like a family. It kind of reminded me of when the Patriots, when they played the greatest show on turf. And, you know, they had all that star power, man. You know what I'm saying? They was the greatest show on turf, man. Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Oz Hakeem, Ricky Provo, Torrey Holt. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? But when they went to the Super Bowl and the Patriots were introduced, they was introduced as the New England Patriots, not one at a time. And they just showed their solidarity as a team. You know what I'm saying? So I saw that from the Eagles this year. They was one of the greatest stories of the year to me, just because of all the camaraderie and closeness that I saw on the team, man. So I feel good for them guys to win the game, man. Salute to them.
Well, before I turn loose, Moody Trayweather, salute. He said he's in the house.
Salute. Yeah, what them Chiefs looking like out there? What that 3-peat look like? I gotta fuck with you just a little bit. But yeah, nigga, what that 3-peat look like, nigga? We broke that shit up. Broke them motherfuckers' chest in 4 pieces out there. Patrick Mahomes, he wasn't even looking downfield. He looking right in front of him, trying to see what nigga coming after him next. They say, hey, man, we having a meeting tonight. Where are we meeting at? Meet me at the quarterback, nigga. That's all it was. Hey, they say the game of football is won at the line of scrimmage. Did you not see that in the game? We getting pushed back on their ass because we got this big offensive line, and we pushing them back on the defensive line. You know what I'm saying? We off in Patrick Mahomes' lap. Like, it was terrible, man. You almost feel sorry for the guy. But, you know, they went to the Super Bowl with that patchwork shit. They got a weak left tackle. They had to move the left guard to left tackle and all that old patchwork shit. And they going against some killers on defense. One thing I'm going to say, man, this is my last thing. I'm going to pass back to MZ. Like, even if you don't know no man about football, If you can locate the team that's bullies, I'm talking about the team, if you put them in the alley with another team, they gonna whoop their ass. That's the team that you need to roll with. And I saw that with these people, man, because every time I bet against them, either we couldn't block them on with the defense or we couldn't stop the running game. That just showed me that they bullies out there. They mean, they aggressive. And that's why I locked in on them like that. You know what I'm saying?
All day. D'Lo say signing Barkley paid huge dividends last night. MF's acting like he got a charity ring or something. Now, when it come down to it, like you were saying, you get. I don't think Saquon had a bad game either. What I think is if he didn't show up the way he did last night, then they possibly would have been in trouble. But he kept running hard. I think he had like 40 some yards when they showed his stats at one point on a few carries. He had like 40 some yards. But the thing was, he kept running hard. He kept hitting the hole. He kept trying to get outside. He didn't let himself get taken down easy. Some tackles, those dudes had to really go all out on. And because he played that way, and the line kept playing the way they played, and everybody kept going at 100%, when that play action hit, like you speaking about, when they went deep, when that play action hit, it froze. You could see, I don't know if you was paying attention to it. I'm sure you was, but you could see the linebackers and everybody had froze for a hot second. When he faked that ball, they had to make sure the running back didn't have the ball because they know how dangerous he is. They know that they had been touching him, and he didn't seem like, in my opinion, he was hitting those holes any less. He was still hitting them up with authority. He was still making those boys feel him when he went through that hole. So they had to respect the fact when they did that play action. And oh boy, just went down there and caught a beautiful catch, like kind of right in the middle. Is that the one you're talking about when he caught it and kind of flipped over in the end zone because old boy had his arm in there, but he held on to it real tight?
Man, I was jumping around, acting a fool and shit. I don't even remember all that. I just remember he caught that bitch, touchdown Eagles, nigga. Hey, but I had pulled up Saquon Barkley's stats. He had 25 carries for 57 yards. So that's only 2.3 yards per carry. So that's a good job by the Kansas City Chiefs. Put that along with 6 catches for 40 yards. You know, so he contributed a little bit from the backfield in the passing game. But you put them together, he had 97 yards today, total yards. So he contributed, man. And like I said, he picked up the blitz very well. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't got no problem with Saquon Barkley, man. The team was just well balanced. Like, we already knew that they was solid everywhere. They had a good tight end, Dallas Goedert. They got folks on the outside, the AJ Brown, and I can't never remember the other dude name, Devontae Smith or some shit like that from Alabama. We knew they was balanced. So if you shut one down, that's gonna open up some other shit. And they had folks out there running free on the motherfuckers, and Jalen Hurts was getting them the ball. He just had one play that I didn't like when he got some pressure in his face, and he just let it go and threw that pick. But outside of that, the man played flawless. You know what I'm saying? When I think kicked their ass all over the place, man, it wasn't even a good game. I had saw that he said that Moody Trayweather said that he couldn't even watch the game. He ain't even miss nothing. It was 24-0 at halftime. We watched the game with Yasser from the UK, from England. I said, man, you following the game? Because I know he don't really understand the game, you know what I'm saying? But he understood 24-0. He understood that just fine. But yeah, man, we had them people. It was 40-6 at one point, man. We was up by 34 on them people, man. It might have been 34-0 at one point. Like it was bad. That was just a ass kicking. Like take them behind the shed, tell them to go get a switch off that tree, and whoop their ass. You know what I'm saying?
Go pick your own switch, like he used to back in. Go give me a switch. Bring your ass here. So that's what happened. You crying? No, I don't want to hear that crying. Go on out there and get the switch, and come on in here so you can get what it is coming to you. From the kickoff, man, you might well say from when the referee was saying this is heads and this is tails, the ass whooping started right then and there.
That's all the Chiefs won. They won the coin toss and lost everything else.
And that's sad.
They
That
got
is
our
sad.
coach, they got our play, they got our physical, they got our scheme, everything. Like it was nothing that they could hang their hat on. They showed them on the sideline. Their body language was bad. It was fucked up. Like I look at Saquon Barkley, things wasn't going his way, but you could just see his body language that he wanted. He hungry. He trying to get it. They just doing a good job stopping him, but he trying to get it though. See, I ain't see that with the Chiefs. I took it back to when the Patriots, when they was down 28-3 against the Atlanta Falcons. And they showed the Patriots on the sideline, Tom Brady and Gronkowski and all them motherfuckers. They look like some caged animals. Can't wait to get back out there and get on their ass. I ain't see that from the Chiefs. Them niggas got down. They on the sideline looking defeated, walking around with their head down and shit, head hanging low, looking crazy. They show Taylor Swift. She up there looking hungry than a motherfucker off in the press box. Lips white, crusty, just looking bad out there. You know what I'm saying? They didn't look like they had that. Yeah, they didn't have that killer instinct to come back with something. So yeah, they gonna have to go back to the drawing board. I saw one motherfucker say when they go into the draft, nigga, they need to draft the O-line all 7 rounds. Shit, I wouldn't even be mad at them.
Damn, I all set every pick on
Every pick.
Wow. That means that they saying that those boys there couldn't block. They couldn't block a little league team.
Yeah, I mean,
Taylor
basically,
Swift, every time they put the camera on Taylor Swift, a couple of seconds later, penalty. Or something broke. They was getting drunk. Her boyfriend can't block, man. That dude can't block. He was responsible for at least 2 sacks. At least 2.
Well, if they got him one-on-one with one of the motherfuckers from the defensive line, they messing up anyway. Who the hell he gonna block one-on-one off that line? And they wasn't blitzing. They didn't blitz one single time in the game. They just beat them with the front four. And we done seen this before. Shit, just like I told y'all last time with the giant upset over the Patriots back in 2007. That's what they was doing. They ain't have to blitz. They could just come with the front four, put pressure on your motherfucking ass.
I gotta ask you this: are you telling me that those few times where I saw those dudes shoot back there so quick, that wasn't a blitz?
Hell no, they was winning on the line. They didn't blitz in one time, bro. That's why they was able to cover on the back end so well. They didn't have to sacrifice nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody could just be in their natural spots and shit because they ain't got to compensate for the man that's blitzing. That's the beauty of it, man. You can take it back to when the Seahawks, when they beat the Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning, they were winning up front. They ain't even got to blitz the motherfucker. I done heard 2 people say the stat. One of them was Shannon Sharp. He said there's been 6 times where a quarterback did not get blitzed one time in the Super Bowl, and the quarterback lost every single time. And the reason is because if you don't have to blitz, it's indicative of you winning with your front four. You ain't got to come with no blitz, and that's hard to beat.
That's insane, bro. I didn't know that. I didn't know that stat. I did not know that they didn't blitz. When I saw them getting back there that fast, my mind just automatically said, "Man, they blitz so good right there. That's ridiculous." You telling me that the front 4 was just bringing pressure like that? Dang.
Yeah, that's why we kept
on. He was back there dancing and running and dancing. He take off going left and spin around to the right. It's like, I'm going left, he right there. I gotta go right. I'm going there, he right there. As I turn back around, the dude in the middle, they smashing on me. Damn, that's crazy.
That's what we saying. That's why we kept on saying, meet me at the quarterback, nigga. That's a conversation between defensive linemen. We ain't including the linebackers and the defensive backs and that, nigga. Meet me at the quarterback is us up front, nigga. These D tackles and these defensive ends. You know what I'm saying? They back there looking like the purple people eaters on these motherfuckers, hunting his ass down out there, being mean with it too. And then the referees, I told y'all, this the game they ain't gonna want to help Patrick Mahomes. They had a play, they could have easily threw a flag. When Mahomes, he got the ball stripped, and then another man came and hit him right in the face. They could have threw a flag. I mean, any other game, they would have threw a flag. They ain't even throw no flag for that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I knew they were
Yeah.
going. I knew he was on his own last night.
I realized that too. I saw that play when they stripped him, then smashed him, covered the fumble. They could have called it because he went to the face. They went to the head, went to the face mask with it. But like you said, they didn't call it. Big brother slid into the building. He said, "What's up, bro? What's up, little bro? What's going on, man? What's going on?"
Oh, gee, what's up, man? What's going down?
Tell sis I say what's up. Her Eagles did their thing yesterday and bust Patrick Mahomes' head open to the white meat.
Man, that shit was embarrassing, man. They had a good season, though. I mean, considering everything, because they wasn't a good team this year to me. That was one reason why I was just so locked in on the Eagles like that. Kansas City ain't showed me shit all season, and we bet on them several times. Every time we bet on them, it was a close game. We getting behind on teams that we should be significantly better than, like the Carolina Panthers and all this kind of shit. Tennessee bombing on us and shit. Will Levis coming down there bombing on. What the fuck is going on? They just wasn't as good of a team this year, you know. So they did a good job just to get to the Super Bowl. That's an accomplishment. They went to 3 in a row, but they just didn't have enough to beat the Eagles, man. A truly good team. Like I told y'all on Discord, as far as my numbers go, this was number 3 versus number 10. I had Kansas City as the 10th best team this year, man. And they in the fucking Super Bowl.
Well, they used all their magic to get that 17-3. You say they was behind a lot of teams and stuff like that. They used that extra push to get themselves to where they are and just ran out of it. Where I can honestly say to everybody, I didn't watch this NFL this year. I know I told y'all I would watch a lot. I got like 3 games out the deal. And the Eagles and the Chiefs was one of the 3. So I'm watching the Super Bowl with wide open eyes to see what everybody is talking about. Here in San Antonio, as people came into the store that I'm at, I was putting the question out. And they were asking me too, hey, who you got for the Super Bowl? I can honestly tell you that damn near everybody that came in there, save 3 people, said they was going with the Eagles. Say they wasn't trying to hear nothing about Patrick Mahomes. It was just 3 people that came in there and said they was going with the Chiefs. Everybody else that I polled that came through the store was riding with the Eagles. And I'm talking about a lot of people, y'all.
Yeah, see, this was this is one of those Super Bowls or one of those games where the publics and the sharp bettors agreed. I was looking at the percentage of the people that was picking the games, and 64% picked the Eagles. Most of the time, the public be on the losers because they don't know how to pick no fucking games. You know what I'm saying? So this time they was on the winner, and the sports books got hammered on that game. They got their asses kicked because everybody picking the motherfucking Eagles. And the reason they picking the Eagles is not because of football knowledge or any other kind of knowledge. It's basically because they don't like Patrick Mahomes and they sick of seeing them win. So they just all piled on the Eagles and shit. If you ask them why, most of them couldn't really tell you why. But they made the right pick though, and they kicked the sports books' ass. Everybody did.
A little girl, the baby, my youngest. This is what she tells me. She said that she was riding with Jalen Hurts because he's a real black guy with a real black wife. And I said, well, that's pretty messed up to say, baby girl, seeing that your boy Patrick is black too. And she hit me with he mixed, Dad. And his wife don't know nothing about him like she's supposed to. I say, pray tell, what do you mean? She says she saw his wife on TV and they asked her a question about what his favorite food was. And she proceeded to say, fried chicken. That's the way my daughter did it. And I looked and I was like, what? And she said fried chicken. And she was doing her neck and her hand and stuff like that. I can't show y'all what she was doing. And she said, he explained to her that his chicken fried steak that his favorite. And she said, well, I thought it was fried chicken, you know. And I'm like, baby, why are you doing it like that? She said, well, you know, she's a white lady, Dad, and she's saying fried chicken like that. What is she trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm like, so that's why you picking the Eagles? You done took it deep on me, baby. And she didn't even watch the game. She was strictly there to see the halftime show.
Yeah. I mean, an argument could be made that this is the second black quarterback to win the Super Bowl. I know we done had Russell Wilson and we done had Patrick Mahomes, but both of them are biracial. You know,
Well,
the
we
white
got,
people
Doug
get.
Williams.
That's why I said the second black quarterback. Of course, he the first, but it's a lot of white people be like, well, he half white, like when they talk about Mahomes, so he don't really count. I always find it interesting that they jump up and claim somebody like Mahomes. But do y'all claim them biracial motherfuckers that's locked up in the penitentiary? Do y'all claim them? Hell no. They black. All the way black. But you know, they used to say, man, if you got a drop of black blood, you're black. That's what they used to say.
The 1/4 rule or something like that.
Nah, I heard the one drop rule. Nigga, you got one drop.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
that,
one drop of black blood, you're black.
If you good, and you good, and they can see some promise out of you, then yeah, they gonna claim it.
Yeah, you
biracial. If you suck, then you black. Go get your ass over there across the line. You know better than being over here.
Yeah, but they can't say that about Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying?
Can't claim none of him.
Yeah, all the way.
They sitting over there mad.
Yeah.
Just mad. Man.
That's why I said that was for the culture, nigga. And we've been on the coaches. Stephen Fulton went out there and whooped the motherfucker in some teams. Now we done had Jalen Hurts go out there and win the Super Bowl. What's next?
Well, if you want to go further than that, you know, K-Dot, your boy, went out there and he showed his ass in the halftime show.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was out doing some other shit during the halftime show. That don't interest me at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
okay,
I like music. I'm not into his music though. Just to be honest with you. Like it ain't never been a song that I heard of his that I like. I'm not saying I'm not saying he a bad rapper or nothing. If y'all like him, that's cool. That's what's up. But it's just not nothing that resonates with me. And then where I come from, I've only heard one person listen to his music. I got a friend. We were riding one time. He put some of that shit in. Some Kendrick Lamar. This was back 2010 or something like that. But outside of him, I ain't never heard nobody listen to no Kendrick Lamar.
Wow. Well, I enjoyed it for the simple reason he's one of those artists to me when he put his music in, he instead of him being about the streets, you know, talking to street stories and stuff like that, he has a hidden message behind it. And from what I gathered from his halftime show was, you know, how people run around and claim they woke and things like that. Other people on the other side of the line claiming they riding with you. I don't know if you've been watching this. What I'm about to build a point. Have you been watching the ASAP Rocky trial, or do you even know about that?
I heard about it, but I don't really know a lot about it though.
Okay, it's a trial about him supposedly shooting this guy, which I don't believe he did. You know, and it's kind of shameful that it's coming out because the guy's talking about he's carrying a fake gun, you know, a prop gun that you would use in the video or something like that. This is the gun that was shot. But anyway, one of the witnesses was on a stand, and he was talking to the white lawyer, prosecutor, and the prosecutor was asking him a question, and he was answering, but he was answering the way we talk. And the guy was like, well, you know, he kept asking the question like as if he wasn't answering the question, and the man said, you just don't understand what I'm saying. Kendrick dressed up, if you notice, he dressed up his people, had him make the American flag, having Samuel L. Jackson, of all people, man known for going off and snapping in movies, talking loud and cussing. He played Uncle Sam, and his first things that he was saying to Kendrick was, tighten up. don't be ghetto. That's what people expect from us when we get on stage. They expect the girls to be out there with they boobs out and they butts out and flopping all over the place. He didn't give them that. And that so many people are hung up on the part about him saying the little part about Drake. It ain't just that. They Not Like Us is actually aimed at a certain part of America who tries to emulate and copy, and it's good when it's a football game that the guys are playing. We could root for them in, but let one of them come out and play their music or their art that we don't understand because we're not really locked like that. Then they have mad things to say, because I've noticed a lot of MAGA people, that Shapiro guy, and it's another guy that just going all off talking left about it. One guy even called him, said he was a sadist. Man didn't say nothing that you would think would offend God or praise the devil. And
that's not what a sadist is, don't it? Sadist and Satanist ain't the same thing. A sadist is a person that takes pleasure in seeing pain in others.
Excuse me. But when they use it, they use it that way. They always use it as a way to paint a black picture, a dark picture of the person. Remember when Deontay Wilder was going out, the first thing they started doing was hitting the Christian start using the Christian word against him, saying that he don't believe in God because of the mask that he wore and how he came out to the ring. They just don't. What I'm saying is, Kendrick to me is an artist. He's a hip hop artist. He like what you would call a entrenched real hip hop artist. Some people would say woke. I just say the dude paints a very good picture with his art and the way he dresses it up. And last night was a good combination of his artwork, of his art, and the way he does things. And it just so happened that the world fell in love with, hey Dre, I know you like him young. Better not come down to Cell Block 1 or some shit like stuff like that. And you're trying to hit something that's probably A minor. When they did that was the culmination for a lot of people. But a lot of people was like, oh, I thought it was going to be this. If you thought that the man was going to go out there and sing that song for the whole 15 minutes of the halftime, then you was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, when he does come across as a very intelligent guy. He does come across as a very artistic guy. I just never gravitated to his music. And then, like, when it comes to beefs and shit like that, like rap beefs, I used to kind of tune in back in the day when they would have the rap beefs and shit. But hell, I'm 40 now, bro. I don't really be giving a fuck. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like him and Drake and all that shit, I don't care about that, bro. And then when it comes to sports, I don't really like mixing sports and music. Like when I'm in a sports mind frame, I don't give a fuck about no music. It's just me. Like when we do the Riyadh season card, Turkey Out the Sheik got a big concert or something in the middle of the fights. I don't give one fuck about that. I never gave a fuck about the halftime show in the Super Bowl. Nigga, I'm trying to get back on my money. Start this second half up, nigga. Y'all get back on your mission. That's what I'm on. But if you know me in real life, it makes sense though, bro. I'm a fucking nerd, man. I might not come across like that to most people because the way I talk, I ain't the most eloquent or well-read person, but I love numbers and shit. That's why I just completed my third winning season betting football. And it's because I'm a numbers motherfucker. I'm gonna beat them with my TI-83 calculator. I've been having this bitch for a while, man. It might be time to upgrade to the TI-84 on the motherfuckers. I done earned that bitch. You know what I'm saying? But it makes sense for me not to just be 100% like artistic in them type of times. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the sports at that time.
I feel you boy say fuck all that dancing and music playing. Hurry up and get back to the action so I can see how much more of this money I can win. Now speaking of the Riyadh season, look like Canelo pulled a stunt. I'm still trying to figure out, is Crawford gonna get to fight somebody else during the time he's supposed to be waiting? Is that fight back on? It's been on, it's been off. Jake Paul jumped out and I don't know if you saw the video where he showed supposedly the contract where he and Canelo supposedly signed to fight. And I think the first person who told me about that, it was Yasser. Yasser was the first person who told me about it when I went on 7 o'clock on Tuesday, so I'd be able to talk to him. He said he didn't know how true it was, but come to find out, if what Jake Paul showed is factual, then it is true. And Canelo was talking about fighting, had a mission to fight this guy, and he put out to the world that he don't fight. He fight real fighters, not fake fighters. But if you assigned to fight Jake Paul, apparently you think he real.
Yeah, I think Crawford got an injury that he's recovering from, so he said he's just gonna wait it out till September, make sure that he 100% ready to go. You know what I'm saying? But I know I read something about maybe Canelo fighting William Skull in May. That's a real opponent. That's a solid opponent. He coming off a pretty good win over that Shishkin motherfucker. They fought in Germany. A lot of people thought he really lost that fight, though. So maybe that vulnerability that he showed in the fight would empower Canelo to want to fight him. He's not a power puncher, so you don't really have to worry about him getting a surprise knockout over Canelo or something and derailing the Crawford fight. And this is actually a very good fight to get him sharp for Crawford, because Skull is a Cuban. He's slick a little bit, got some skills. He can make you think in there. He can get you sharp and ready for somebody like Crawford. But even though Crawford might have an injury right now, and he might sit out to September, I think this gives Canelo an advantage if he does have a fight against somebody like Skull. And Crawford ain't had a fight since 2024. It's gonna be a pretty significant layoff. And I think that'll probably give Canelo the edge, man. I just don't like the layoffs, especially going against somebody like Canelo. And I know Canelo can handle the southpaw stance, because I've seen him fight well against southpaws in the past, like Billy Joe Saunders and shit like that. He's able to still find his angles on the counter punches against the southpaw. So it's already a dangerous fight as it is. And then he come in with a disadvantage that he coming off a layoff and Canelo coming in sharp off a motherfucker like Skull. I just don't like that equation.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And yeah, for me, Crawford sitting out, if it's an injury and he got to sit out that long without getting any action, I just say refer to Earl Spence. Crawford got that chance to stay sharpened up with amnesia, and end up fighting Earl.
Hey, hold on, man. Whenever you talking, bro, like it's like a little click or some shit. Like your shit ain't just smooth. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi or something like that. I've been hearing it pretty much the whole time we've been on. It's not consistent where you just consistently sounding off or something like that. But it's something like when you talking, I hear a little click or something like in the middle of your talking.
It might have been because I was hitting the mouse to mute myself in and mute myself out, so that fan wouldn't be so loud in the background. That's probably what it is.
So it just did it again. It just did it when you was talking.
Oh wow! Then I don't know what that is. Is it clicking on y'all? Y'all let me know. Is it me or is it Trey? So I know if I need to go out and try to come back in and reset it.
Boom! It just did it again. It's like it hit you with a look.
Dang.
I can't explain it, man. But I hear it clear as day, and I've been hearing it for a while. So because at first I was thinking maybe it was just my shit, but I'm hearing it so consistently. I'm like, maybe I should say something. See, it just did it again.
This motherfucker I used to talk about every time MZ live, he click. Ain't that a bitch? Damn, you supposed to be on my side, bald head ass. But that's all right. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. He said Turkey came with a much more lucrative offer, and Canelo took that. Tell Jake to stop bitching. I feel that, business is business, but the fact still remains the same that Canelo signed the contract with Jake Paul. He lied to the world and said that he only fight real fighters. He don't consider Jake Paul a real fighter. He wouldn't fight a YouTuber. It's a lot he said. And Jake Paul produced his signature and whatnot. That. What do you say about that? People ain't gonna say nothing because it's Canelo. They're gonna let him ride with what he ride. But going back to Skull, Remember we had spoke about him fighting Skull back in the Gap, Trey. Where I had brought it up because I was like, I thought he's supposed to be fighting Skull when all this first started getting ready to start stirring up and the Crawford fight and all these things. Remember, I was like, isn't he supposed to be fighting that dude? Come to find out, he still seemed like he gonna end up fighting this dude, and got a couple of more fights. I think Turkey said a fight this year, and then 2 in 26 that he got Canelo signed up for. I had to try to find that. I have to try to find that thing again. But y'all still let us know if this meat is clicking or what, because I don't want to be having a bad connection. Hyphy, you always got something to say. Say something about that. Truthfully though, because you know you be having people throw it off with the way you show up. And D-Lo 404, I don't want to skip out his thing, even though he said he was a few minutes behind. Both of Russell Wilson's parents will be considered black, so he is black. He said I had just forgotten that.
Oh, okay.
And then he realized that he on a delay by 7 minutes. Well, fast forward real quick and catch up. It ain't. You be all right then. Is it still clicking, bro?
Yeah.
Because now it's getting on my nerve, and I don't even hear it. But it's got me agitated because I'm like, I can't be having it.
It's not necessarily clicking. It's like it sounds robotic. Like
that
some parts.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't really like. Sometimes it'll hit you and like cut you out for like a millisecond, and then you'll come back in. And then sometimes it'll just have this sound that sound kind of robotic.
Yeah, well, I don't want to shoot out and then have to come back in because I don't want to stick you out like that. Shoot.
I guess just roll with it. I mean, it don't seem to be no live stream.
It ain't really major.
Yeah, I guess just roll with it.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with the punches and keep it going. So, Canelo hooked up with Riyadh for what? 4 fights? 3 fights?
Yeah,
as good as is 4?
I think so.
Okay. And dang, it's hard to be excited now because if Crawford injured and he got to wait till September before they fight, and Canelo gets to fight in between, that's not good for Crawford at all. And it could look at the part where you say, you know, Turkey gonna mess around and get somebody jacked up on the real.
Well, on the flip side, though, Skull got a belt, I believe. I don't want to talk wrong, but I think he got a belt. Y'all know the belts ain't my strength. Like we could talk boxing all day.
I thought that's why they was fighting. I thought that would be why they were fighting when we were speaking about it. I didn't do my research to find out, but I think he does have a belt because I think they were saying something about Canelo trying to become undisputed.
Yeah, so I was thinking because I think him and this guy named Vladimir Shishkin, they fought for a vacant belt. So Canelo win the fight, he'll be undisputed again. And when he fight Crawford, that'll give Crawford an opportunity to fight for undisputed. And we know that how much he likes that. Like, you know, Crawford liked to fight for undisputed. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely would put a little bit more fire in his furnace. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it's a bad thing, but on the flip side, it does give him that extra incentive because you get a chance to fight not only Canelo for your legacy, but also Canelo as the undisputed champion for your legacy if you beat him.
Yeah, that'd be real big for Bud. And not only do he like to fight, I don't really know how to feel still about it. I'm kind of excited for Bud because it gives him a chance to, as they like to say so much, chase greatness. It gives him a chance to prove that he that guy. If he beat Canelo, man, that'd be big for him. That'd be real big for him. I just want to know how the Canelo fans would take that. How the people that claim that he is the face of boxing and he's so great, how they gonna take it if he takes the loss to Bud. I already can pretty much tell you how they gonna act if he win. They gonna be with that old, he the greatest thing since sliced bread, white or brown. He, you know, or should I say he the best thing since a round tortilla. But anyway, they'll be fighting around Mexican Independence Day in September. which is my birthday month, Bud birthday month. That might be, Bud might have one hit in the pocket, in his pocket, where he can whoop Canelo and then ride off in the sunset as undisputed again. That boy be able to talk some talk, and you have to give him his respect. And I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's a big fight, man. I mean, Crawford has already been climbing pretty good for me as far as his resume. Because, like, before his last fight, I was looking at him more like a Joe Calzaghe type motherfucker, where he had a good career and people could see that he's a good fighter, but he ain't necessarily just have the wins that would just put him over the top and just make me say he's great. And then Calzaghe, he got him late. I know he fought some older men, but he had the Jeff Lacey. He also fought the Bernard Hopkins, and he had Roy Jones and shit like that. So they got him some respect. And that's what I felt like the type of shit Crawford did, culminating in the Earl Spence fight. But then he went past that and he got a Madrimov now. And then if he was to go knock off a Canelo, I'm gonna have to start putting him closer to the cream of the crop as far as like all time type of perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that'd be big, especially coming off of a layoff like that, and going up in weight, and being able to handle that business and come out on top. I'm trying. I was sitting here when you mentioned Billy Joe Saunders. I was trying to put it through my mind. Did I think Bud could beat Billy Joe if they was to go at it? Would I give Bud the nod over Billy Joe? And I would have to say, in my mind, I think so. I would. So he might be able to pose a different problem for Canelo, even though Canelo has showed that he's decent with lefties. I don't know if I should throw this out there because Hyphy's saying it's D-Lo, but I'm going to jump in it anyway. He said, Turkey signing Canelo takes him away from PBC. Canelo was PBC's bread and butter. They used him to leverage the Amazon Prime deal. This spells trouble for PBC. I think we way past the stage of trouble for somebody or boxing dying or anything like that. I think it's got a shot in the arm if Turkey is successful with getting these guys up under one umbrella. Fights still getting made and stuff like that, because that's all we care about. I think I don't really care if PBC. I would hate to see them fold or fail, but if they end up under the same umbrella with the other guys and they can make fights and the guys put money out to help them make the fights, so be it. Let it go. But I finally got a chance to see Otto Wallin get caught by Chisora. I don't know how many times he knocked him down, but I saw a knockdown where Chisora like just swung and caught him, and he took a couple of steps back and then just fell back. God dang. Was Chisora cut in that fight?
Yeah, he got cut. He had a pretty severe cut. They was thinking about stopping it at one point.
Man, he
went out there and handled his business. I'm just pissed that I ain't bet the fucking decision. Because Otto Wallin is a pretty tough guy. And he went the distance against Tyson Fury. He got stopped by Anthony Joshua, but that was mainly because of his nose. I think his nose got broken in that fight. Well, you're a pretty tough guy. Amateur background. He fighting in the Haringey Cup. He fighting in the Stronza Cup and all that kind of shit. So those ain't no cream of the crop international tournaments, but they still international nonetheless. And I took Derek Chisora in the fight. On the Count Ross, I took the decision, but when I bet the fight, I bet the money line. I should have bet the damn decision at plus 375. But, salute to Chisora, though, for going out there getting the win. Otto Wallin, he didn't even look like he came to fight, but I ain't surprised, though, because he only fought one round since 2023. That was one reason why we took Chisora, because Chisora coming in hot off the juggernaut, Joe Joyce. He beat Joe Joyce, so he coming in hot, full of piss and vinegar. He go off in here with Otto Wallin. He ain't even been that active. His best win was against a man that's a former cruiserweight that don't even have a lot of amateur fights. I can't think of his name right now. I want to say he fought against Usyk at cruiserweight, but that's Otto Wallin's best win. and he ain't got the activity. I knew he was gonna have trouble with Chisora. And Chisora, even though he raggedy, that motherfucker actually was a national champion in the UK. That surprised the hell out of me when I seen that. I'm like, this man with this raggedy style was a national champion, but he was though.
All I know is he rung the bell on Violin or Wildin or whatever you call him. He knocked the crap out of him. D-Lo said PBC been in trouble. Then he said, I skipped back to real time. Chisora put belt to ass 2. Okay? Instead of beat that ass, he put belt to ass 2. And then he says neither Fury or AJ were able to drop him, or at least they said that during the fight. So for Chisora to go ahead and clean his clock and put him out of there, or drop him, not put him out of there, but just drop him, I'm telling you, that drop was something serious. And I saw these two dudes arguing, and it did not cross my mind that they getting ready to fight. Dillian White and Joe Joyce, the Juggernaut is making an appearance again.
Yep. But I want to speak on that PBC shit a little bit. Them motherfuckers on life support. They really need to just go and get out the boxing business. They might as well just go and get out the way. Let's have a motherfucking yard sale and sell these fighters and sell these contracts, whatever go into that shit. They need to get out the way because they on the back burner. Don't nobody even think about PBC no more unless it's David Benavidez or something like that. When Wilder went down and when Earl Spence went down, that was like the death sentence for them. We don't even think about them no more. They just in the background and they want to sell $80 pay-per-views. When we think about boxing now, we thinking about Riyadh season, and we thinking about Matchroom and the zone fights and Fisheye, Frank Warren, them and Top Rank, and we got a Top Rank card this weekend. Like that's what boxing is. That's the mix right now. I mean, we ain't even on no PBC cards. They ain't even having like regularly scheduled cards on the weekends and shit. That shit is dead.
That man said PBC is on life support.
They out of there. I'm telling you, they might as well get out the boxing business. They're not bringing much value to the game except for a few fighters. They PBC, they pay-per-views are trash compared to like Riyadh season. They still got that old model, top-heavy pay-per-view. Like you get a real good main event, mediocre undercards, and charge a big price. That's yesterday's model. We done moved on to some other shit. Now we having super cards. So if you ain't trying to get on board with the super cards, you might as well go and get out the way, because that's what we on right now. We on this turkey out of sheik. We done went into a new era in boxing. We seeing undisputed fights all the time. We seeing young cats getting in the ring, fighting each other now. We seeing super pay-per-view cards where they stack from top to bottom. We got some coming up now. If that's not what you trying to be on, you might as well get out the way. That's what we own. That's what we trying to pay for.
That man said, we on that Riyadh season right now. We ain't on that other bullshit. And since y'all lost both of the Charlos, not because they got beat up, because they just went crazy. They life went crazy. I won't say they went crazy.
Nah, one of them went out like a hoe against Canelo. And that's what lost him his juice.
So those two falling off, and then, topple that with Earl Spence taking the loss, Wilder taking the loss. They best products have fallen off. Save Tank. They still got Tank, right? And Benavidez. Everybody else is willingly, well, I can't say that they're not willing to work with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Maybe they turn around and go ahead over there and let him clean out the rest of the refrigerator, so these boys don't have no problems with still getting paid. Because if the truth is what they say about Al Heyman, that he really looks out for them, then he'll make sure that he gets them slid in something where they'll be comfortable, as he said he's trying to make them. That boy said Chisora brought Wallen some Five Guys post-fight. Such a class act. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the voice of reason, the man who makes you think about fights and situations in more than one frame of mind. He gets you to look outside the box, think outside the box. D-Lo 404 Boxing. What's going on, pimpin'?
What's up, man? You must have missed me, man, because you done rolled out the red carpet.
I'm just keeping it real, man. You gotta come on here and say somebody missed you.
You ain't got to gas me up like that. It's all good. Hey, but yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. Good to be on the show. Hope my Wi-Fi tight. You know what I'm saying? This is my first time getting on the stream with this Wi-Fi I got now. Hopefully everything good. Everything sound all right?
So far, so good. Yeah, you sound all right. So far, so good.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say, man, with PBC, all the stuff Trey was talking about, these stat cards and all the stuff we getting with Turkey. Turkey doing that, working with multiple promoters, even with PBC to get that done. PBC was in a better position than anybody to do the same thing, and they could have done it even without working with anybody else. With that roster they had, they had like 200 some fighters on the contract. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the situation they in is 100% on them. All these guys sitting on the shelf, like Trey say, postponing boxing careers, guys taking forever, having all this inactivity, setting these guys up to get beat, setting them up to get, some athletes need to stay busy. I mean, it's like just people in general, you know what I'm saying? They need something to do. And idle time get a lot of them in trouble. Some of these guys got habits. Some of these guys have a problem keeping their weight down when they ain't active, things of that nature. So, man, when you got all that in play, and then you got these guys, some of these guys under 25 years old even, ain't fighting about once every 18 months. Man, that's a recipe for disaster. I'm sure a lot of these jokers got second jobs, man. They probably don't publicize it, but a lot of these guys that were fighting with PBC probably had to get another job just to hold down the bills and stuff. Or they done borrow so much money from Al Heyman that they can't go nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like they owe money for the next payday, whenever they're gonna be. So I mean, it's just, man, they just created a bad situation for a lot of them guys. And I don't care how much they come out and praise them and this, that, and the other. The reflection of their career don't match where they, what they saying. Not at this point.
We don't even hear that shit no more. When the last time you heard a nigga say, man, I just want to thank Al Heyman? I don't even hear that shit.
Hell, we don't see him fighting.
Yeah, that too. I forgot they do got Tank, but that motherfucker say he gonna retire soon.
Hey, they got Tank and Bubble Wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like they ride Tank so hard as far as like they need Tank to stay where he at that they can't even risk putting him in a 50-50 type fight.
Yeah.
Your boy Hyphy said, this is you, D-Lo. He said PBC had 40 plus dates in 2022. Only 5 last year. He said, could you break that down, please?
That sounds self-explanatory, huh?
Yeah, I mean they ran Showtime out of business. I mean that's a lot of it, but like, man, if you anybody, and I see some channel, man, like I see some guy be on their channel damn near crying about PBC. You know what I'm saying? If you don't big up PBC and this, that, and other, but I'll say this, man, I don't care how much you like an entity or whatever, the proof is in the results. It ain't just Showtime they ran out of business. Like PBC was on several networks. Every last network they was on got out of boxing. Either, either the network folded or they just got out of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Or they got out, or when they was like ESPN, they got out of boxing with PBC, stopped dealing with them. So it's like, man, if you look at the last year with Showtime, we saw the best PBC fights or best fights involving PBC fighters in terms of matchups. The fights might not have turned out like we thought, but as far as getting fights that we wanted, we saw that the last year. And that's because Showtime had done got, they had done got told, you got to turn this thing around or we get out of boxing. And they tried. It was just too little too late. But the thing is, why you got to get that type of, why you got to get that type of notice before you start doing what you should have been doing the whole time? So I didn't feel bad for Espinoza. I hated Showtime going off the air because I like watching their broadcast. But I definitely felt like they should have just fired Espinoza, kicked PBC to the curb, and brought somebody else in and tried to keep it going. But I guess they lost so much money playing the game the way they were playing it, that it just didn't make sense for them to stick with boxing.
And I'm not celebrating it either, man. The more sources of boxing that we have, the better. If it was up to me, I would hope that the motherfuckers be successful and be on top of the game. I'm just calling it the way I see it. The shit is just they out of there, bro. All they got is Tank right now, David Benavidez. Yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. Who else they got?
Well, shit, Trey, you said a couple years ago, man, like 2-3 years ago, back when y'all channel was going strong. You know what I'm saying? You talked about how none of the up and coming fighters were signing the PBC, and that was a sign. You know what I'm saying? That it was probably, you know what I'm saying, like they weren't gonna have longevity going forward. You know, everybody that they had over there were aging fighters. Like none of the up and coming blue chip fighters were signing over there. Everybody was going to majority of them were going to top rank, but nobody was really like signing with PBC or Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, they ceiling was the 3.5s. They get 3.5s, but they wasn't getting no 4.5s and 5s and shit.
And they weren't getting a lot of those. And then when they were getting them, the guys were unhappy. They were having to let the guys go because they were stalling their careers. Like I think Hitchens might have been one of them that was over there. Hackett, I think Jaleel Hackett was over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, these guys had to walk because they just weren't getting no action.
I always say, man, what fighters want the most is fights, man. If you ain't trying to get the fighter no fights, you bullshit. That's all they want.
Right.
Wasn't Boo Boo with them at one point too?
Who talking about
Andre.
Andre. Well, he had signed back with them right before like one fight before the Benavidez fight.
I thought he was with them before he went to Eddie Hearn though.
He was with them years ago, but he was with somebody else too. And then that deal fell apart. And then that was shortly after that Jamel Charlo fight didn't work out. And then he went and signed with HBO on his own. Well, with his other folks, you know what I'm saying? But he had got an HBO deal, but he came in the HBO deal right before HBO went out the back door. So it kind of, you know what I'm saying? So then that's how he ended up over there with Eddie Hearn.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I made a video about that a few years back. I'll send it to you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hyphy said, I can't remember the last time PBC signed a good Olympian. I don't know if they even have if they have any fighters signed under the age 24. We almost forgot. Isn't Cromwell Moulton part of their crew?
Cromwell, yeah, I think he signed a Floyd but he fighting on Danny Garcia cards and stuff. I don't know how young he is. I don't know if he under 24, 25 or what.
No, he pretty young kid, but he ain't no 4.5 or 5 though. He a bona fide 3.5. So he still ain't.
Yeah, he look promising and they keeping him busy. But I mean, if they
you sound muffled now. You sound muffled now.
How about now?
Yeah,
you back.
Yeah, if they'd have kept him, them other young guys as busy they keeping Carmel Moulton, they'll probably have them Abdullah Mason or something by now. You know, somebody who look like they on the cusp of becoming a main event fighter.
Yeah, even he a 3.5 though. I mean,
right, but he been active. I'm saying though, but he been active. You know what I'm saying? And like when PBC had those type guys, you see him fighting about once every 9 months at best.
The Moulton kid been fighting though.
That's what I'm saying. Moulton fight. But the other guys that they had over there like that, they weren't active like Moulton.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That boy AI needs music in the house. Our boy the Kane, he said that knuckle barbershop been telling y'all PBC was in trouble ever since they broke his heart. Come on, man, y'all know what.
Yeah, hey, I wouldn't know the name Kelly Swanson if it weren't for that man crying all the time.
That's right, he did. Kelly Swanson. They need to fire Kelly Swanson. He starting to look like a real mystic, a real wizard that can tell the future. Here come Hyphy. He said Cromwell. already got his ass beat by Shakur Cousin, and he missed weight. I ain't know he lost no fight.
He
As
talking
far
about
as I know, he undefeated.
he lost in the national championship finals to Shakur's cousin. That's what he talking. Yeah, that's what he talking about. What's that kid name? His last name is Moses. Zaquin Moses, I want to say. He beat him in the finals in one of them national tournaments. He a good fighter though, man. Carmel. I don't know about him like having a Floyd-esque or Gervonta Davis-esque career, because the way he fight, like, don't get me wrong, he can fight like a motherfucker, but he's short and he got short arms, and he kind of fight like he got long arms a little bit. And he gonna take some shots. He gonna be in some wars. Like when he get off in there with some. As a matter of fact, his last fight he got touched up a little bit. Motherfucker was in there fighting back. He gonna be in some wars, man. Because you can hit him. Like he brave. He brave where he can stand in the path of danger, make you miss by an inch, and come back with something. But sometimes if you off in there with a guy that's talented, you can't make him miss by an inch. You try to make him miss by an inch, he gonna hit your motherfucking ass. So he gonna take some shots, man. I could see him being in the fight of the year one day, because he definitely like to put hurt on you. He like to beat your ass fighter. You know, he want to show some skills, but at the end of the day, he wants to beat your ass. So I'm very excited about seeing him in the future. But as far as PBC and all that shit, we could just see the way that they was being ran. I mean, you know, like we kept on noticing that when PBC fighters, when they would fight cross promotional fights, like against Top Rank, they was getting their ass whooped on a consistent basis. Like it was, you could predict it. You know what I'm saying? Like you really could get your money on. Then you see PBC versus Top Rank, nigga, take Top Rank. You gonna get paid. That's the way it was. That's the way it is. So like it just shows like the Top Rank fighters, they like Top Rank know how to build fighters. They know how to get you them developmental fights and shit. They know how to build a fighter up. PBC, they came in like they was wet behind the ears. See, Top Rank, they've been around for a long time. They got experience in this shit. PBC came through like they was new to this. They just jumped off the porch and they trying to build fighters. And they look like novices out there. You know, we're looking at the long bouts of inactivity. We're looking at the lack of developmental fights. It was a couple of fighters that I thought they tried to do good with. One of them was the kid, Lil B-Hop. I thought they tried, man, because they had him fighting good fighters early, like Austin Dulé. He was fighting a series of undefeated fighters. I thought they did a good job with Cool Boy, because Cool Boy was fighting consistently. He was fighting undefeated fighters, and then it just fell off. All of a sudden, little B-Hop was fighting one time a year, saying that was his goal, just have $1 million fight per year, and he good. And then we started seeing inactivity with Cool Boy. Came off a layoff, lost to Anui, came off another layoff and got a win against the tall Mexican fighter on Mexican Independence Day, I want to say. I can't think of his name right now. But he didn't come off a layoff in his last fight against the Heartbreaker, though. So that was good. I like to see that. He got a fight in a timely manner, you know what I'm saying? But those are the only two fighters that I can think of in my mind where they really tried to do right. They tried to give him some developmental fights and build them up the right way. One of them kind of turned out good. Cool Boy, I got respect for him. He gonna come and try to fight and win. The other one didn't turn out too well with cool little B-Hop. Yeah, B-Hop. But they tried though.
Yeah, they couldn't help it that he curled up.
Yeah, but he got a fight coming up though. The guy that beat him, we gonna take Gary Antoine Russell and just see what happens. You can. Matter of fact, I think I sent you the bets that I got on Bet US. That was one of the bets that I took, if I'm not mistaken. Gary Antoine Russell on the money line. Because they got him as a slight underdog.
Yeah, you did send me that.
Yeah, we got a ringside champion going against an Olympian. And I know the Olympian done lost, but he lost to a bad motherfucker. What's his name? La Vispa. He a 4 on the scale. So I still think Gary Antoine Russell, he got enough to go out there and beat this guy. What's the name? El Rayo. And El Rayo, he already took a loss to a smaller southpaw. And what's the name of the southpaw that had the boring fight against Shakur? De La Santos.
Edwin De La Santos.
Yeah, Edward.
Yeah, he knocked out El Rayo, a short southpaw with power. So now he got another short southpaw with power coming through. So let's see what he gonna do with Gary Antoine Russell.
Gary needs to go ahead and take care of that. Take care of that real quick. Get himself back in the winning ways.
I think he will. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what we had to sit back and wait for. It was something that you guys had touched on. I'm trying to let my mind fall back to it. PBC. Oh, PBC. If you remember, I think the reason, to feed off of D-Lo, it is self-inflicted. And the reason why, I don't know if you guys remember Earl Spence used to speak about how Al Heyman looked at the way he moved them. And the way he moved them was instantly to start thinking about retirement. So thinking about the way they felt, listening to how you guys say the guys was fighting for a minute and then they start falling off, where they was only fighting once a year, mentioning B-Hop saying that was his goal, to get to fight once a year, $1 million fight once a year, and he good. What if they was all thinking like that? What if that was the plan to say, okay, we're gonna get you hype where people know your names, and then we're gonna long feed them the long way with a long spoon until y'all get set where you can retire. You don't have to take as much damage, and you won't have and you don't have to fight as much, but you're gonna get this paper. By listening to D-Lo saying they had 200 and something fighters in their stable, they should have been pushing fights real regular if they was gonna try to use that way of thinking. But they used that way of thinking and then push all the fighters, and the fighters that weren't shining bright fast enough start getting discouraged and start complaining. And here we are a couple of years later down the line, and we're starting to see where the fruits of their labors end up being, and that's in a negative.
Yeah, that's not inconceivable what you're saying, man. That a lot of them guys felt that way, especially the bigger name guys. If you look at their activity level, then like you didn't hear these guys coming out talking like they want to fight either. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them guys that weren't fighting, they seem content not fighting. Long as their next fight was a quote unquote big type fight. You know what I'm saying? Where they were gonna probably make over certain. Long as they can make whatever their standard purse was or above, I think they were content. You know, guys fighting when their money started to run low a little bit, things like that. But my thing that bothered me the most about PBC was like the up and coming guys, like say George Spencer or somebody like that. Guy come out, have a decent showing, and get a little bit of buzz, and you know what I'm saying. And by the time he fight again, you don't forgot about it. You know what I'm saying? Like he might fight in February. By the time he fights again, it's November. You know what I'm saying? So by then, all this little buzz done went down. His inactivity level done widened. So he ain't, he that much further from being the same fighter he was on the night he looked good. So I think things like that hurt him. One of the guys, I think Trey was talking about guys they did a good job with. I think they did a good job with, even though he got beat. And I know a lot of people don't agree that it was a solid loss, but I forget his name, the one that lost to Lubin recently.
Rosario?
No, the junior. The junior.
Oh, talking about Ramos?
Yeah, Jesus Ramos Jr. I think they did a good job with him, or are doing a good job with him. But he gotta stay busy, But I think going back to what MZ said, if just like Errol Spence, right? And Errol Spence talked about not taking no tune-ups. Everybody, gave him all kind of credit. And I don't want to sound like I'm an Errol Spence hater because I'm a huge fan of Errol Spence. Made a video saying years ago, I don't understand why he get hate. But one thing I'll say about that, I always said Don't read too much into that. Like, don't look at that as this man is like all warrior, all guts, all glory. I always felt like that was a pay thing. Once that man got to a certain level and seeing a certain paycheck, he didn't want to fight for less. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to fight somewhere around that range, and he hit that high water mark in that Mikey fight. They done the pay-per-view buys, and then every pay-per-view after that was less and less and less until he got to the Crawford fight. So when you take all that into consideration, this man ain't trying to go from what he getting on these pay-per-view shows to fight getting what he got to fight a guy like Dinu or somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever the guy's name that him and Keith Thurman both fought. You know, or what he got to fight.
Algieri.
Huh? Bundu
You
is
want to
who
go
I
back to
was trying to say.
Algieri pay.
I was trying to say Bundu, Leonard Bundu. So he ain't trying to go back to making the type person he made from that. And I get it. Most fighters don't want to go backwards once you get to a certain level. It's like on your job. Once you get to making a certain amount of money, you don't want to, hey, for next few weeks, we want you to do this job. We're gonna pay you less money. Like, I do the job, but you're gonna pay me what you've been paying me. And a lot of fighters run into that problem. That's why you have a lot of these fighters arguing about contract, they turning down fights because they want to get paid a certain amount of money. But then the promoter's like, okay, we'll pay you, but you got to fight this guy, this guy, this guy. And they like, no, I want to fight that guy. And they're like, okay, well, you fight that guy, then we're not paying you what you want because the fight ain't gonna make that money. So I get, how it is from that aspect. I see why guys like, no, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I'm only gonna come back for the big fights because I guess they look at it like, hell, a training camp is a training camp. You still gonna put your body through that groove and grind to get in shape, and then you're gonna go out there and you want to make as much as possible, and you want as many eyes on you as possible. But I still feel like that's a losing formula when, like Trey say all the time, guys can't just fight hard fight after hard fight after hard fight. You got to have somewhat of a break in there sometime when you fighting these fights. You can't just have consistent hard fight over and over and over and over and over. Even if you are taking breaks. Hell, your break should be taking a soft touch. Staying sharp.
You know what the weird thing is? I appreciate PBC though, because they made us better boxing handicappers. Like they have been an experiment. Like, what happens if fighters come off long layoffs? What happens if you got fighters that don't get developmental fights and they fight fighters that do have developmental fights, like in cross promotional fights against top rank and shit like that? We got a chance to have those experiments and see what happens. So it was bad for them, but I really appreciate the lessons that they showed us, because we got a very good idea of how layoffs affect fighters and shit now, and it's largely because of them. And now my education is expanding because I'm seeing what happens if you have experienced fighters fighting against inexperienced, very talented, high-level fighters like Morrell and Benavidez. Obviously, experience seems to be having the advantage over the pedigree scale, even. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a 5 going against an experienced guy, them fighters with the experience have been doing better. Like, you can even go to Jared Anderson and Martin McColey and shit like that. But I'm just glad I'm able to expand my my education, and PBC has been a big part of that. So I appreciate that from the motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Salute to whew. Salute to Gil Coles. He say salute OG in the chat.
Salute.
D-Lo, I got a question to throw past you and Trey. I'm saying that Devin Haney is finally committed, and from what I'm understanding, he's supposed to be fighting at 147 pounds. But if the rumor is true, he's ranked at like number 1. How you feel about that? My opinion, to start it off, my opinion of it is, why would they, one, rank him at such a high spot at 147 after getting his behind handed to him at whatever the weight, 140, I guess that's what they were supposed to fight at. How you fall into a spot like that if this is all true? And in my mind, I can't see literally a fight. I guess if there was to be a fight for him to have, against a champion level person would be Mario Barrios, because he's just getting to 147 and still, in my opinion, really getting his feet wet. I don't see Devin going up to 147 handling anything.
Well, Trey, you got something on that?
You go ahead first.
Okay, what I was gonna say is, well, you know, he's already announced that he was moving up. Because him and Ryan both in their next fight, they're fighting at like I think it's like 144. I don't think they're fighting all the way at 147, but it's over the 140 limit. And then the last fight was over the limit, even though it was, you know, even though he went into the fight as a champion, his belt wasn't really on the line because they fought over the limit. So now personally, just like you and probably everybody in the chat and panel, I can't unsee what Ryan Garcia did to him. I understand all the, you know, circumstances surrounding, you know, everything that happened and all that. But if you really go by what's officially the fight, you know what I'm saying, basically it's almost like it just got erased. So he was the champion. He opted to not defend the title versus what's my man name? Sandor Martin, because there again, what I was talking about earlier, he ain't like the payday. So now they officially moving up, and as being the WBC champion, the last WBC champion at 140, moving up in weight, they're making him number one. But if you look at the WBC rankings, it really ain't a whole lot there. So it kind of makes sense that he would be top 2 or 3. You know, and number one don't seem that far-fetched if you really look at the rankings and look at who's all in the rankings. And like I said, it's really primarily because he's quote-unquote the defending 140-pound champion moving up. So that's kind of been par for the course with a lot of the sanctioning bodies when guys move up in weight. His case is unique because we saw what happened to him in his last fight, and we feel like, you know, he you know, I'm eager to see how he bounced back from that. I still ain't convinced that he ain't gonna wear some of that ass whooping into the next fight. Excuse my language. He ain't gonna wear some of that into his next fight. And mentally and physically, I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking something similar. I was thinking he probably like 147 is the one-way class. He probably can do some shit like that. Be number one when you move up. Yeah, they got Conor Benn at number 3. If he went to 135, he wouldn't be number one. If he went to 154, he wouldn't be number one. I think 147 is just that weak. And now they got the 2 top guys about to knock each other off and shit, as far as Stanionis and Ennis. Yeah, I could see it, him being up there. Maybe not necessarily number one, but I could definitely see him being up there. Just the state of the division. You know what I'm saying? But hell, let's go and make a tournament, nigga. You gonna move up? You fight the kid, man. What's the kid that got the father that be talking for him and shit? We bet on him. We lost the bet.
Kid Austin.
Norman. Yeah,
No,
fight
Brian
Norman. Yeah, you fight Norman, nigga, and then the Boots and Stanionis fight. The winner fight each other, nigga. Let's go and get it popping like that.
Well, the sanctioning body, they got a number one in. That's for Barrios belt, WBC.
Oh yeah, well Barrios get it on then.
But
he need to be Barrios and old boy then.
But it don't. Yeah, I was finna say that probably should happen because you know, what Devin is in that thing with Riyadh season, you know, so he got like his next 2 or 3 fights mapped out already. You know, if he win, he already in something like a tournament. Him and Ryan.
Maybe that's why he got ranked like that.
Well, they ain't gonna probably order the fight because they know he's tied up in that thing. So you know what I'm saying. Barrios got an opportunity to unify. I'm like Trey. He need Barrios and the boy from Atlanta, Norman. They need to be trying to unify. Yeah. And then the winner of that need to be trying to look at the winner of Stanionis and Boots.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's not being cooked behind closed doors as we speak.
I think Turkey had to get involved to get well. it's the PBC aspect of it is what worried me because Barrios is with the PBC. If Barrios is with Golden Boy, Top Rank, or Eddie Hearn, or even with Frank Warren, I wouldn't worry about it. But with him being with PBC will look at it like they got a guy that has a belt, and they don't want him to lose a belt to somebody on one of the other sanctioning bodies. I mean, with one of the other promotional companies, and they don't get nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? If he go out there and get beat, because PBC they the one that put up all the barriers, man. People don't want to admit it. I ain't gonna say that's always been the case, but lately they be the ones putting up the barriers when they fighters have opportunity. Now they let Stanionis boots fight, so that's a good sign. But I mean, what else they have for Stanionis?
Well, and to be honest, I thought they had worked with Old Turkey before. So
yeah, they are working with them. They are. Elite according to Turkey. We see some of their fighters over there, but Turkey said that's one of their partners. So, but they probably still don't want to just turn loose the reins in certain situations. Tank the only one over there talking crazy.
Well, let me see. He the only one talking crazy, and I can get your view about not wanting to lose the belts, because if they lose the belt with Mario, they got a secondary belt with Tank. They don't hold belts anywhere else. Usyk holds a lot of the belts at one of the weight classes they would have been prominent in, but they out of there with that. So if they up under the Turkey umbrella, I guess this is where the little competition will start kicking in. Hopefully, if all the promoters start seeing the big picture and start saying, let's mix it up. Hell, have pride in saying we all up under the same umbrella, but yeah, I got the belts. What y'all gonna do about it? Because the fights can be made. If that breaks out, oh man, boxing is gonna be so fantastically sweet. People are really, fans will really be able to get behind promotional companies like they want to do in certain instances. They'll be able to say, yeah, I roll with top rate boys, is beating that ass and holding all the hardware. Eddie Hearn them get a chance to scream and get a chance to get their hands on some belts. PBC, they get the chance to get their hands on some belts if everybody collectively come together and start thinking on that level. It seems like Turkey is starting to be a little infectious to them, where they are starting to bite on the plan and starting to see it in that way. And maybe in about a year and a half, 2 years, we'll start seeing them really come together and start getting some hellable fights where just think of the most pleasant thing when it comes to fights, and that's seeing fight after fight on top of fight, just good card after good card, rolling on a more regular. I think we can get to that if they all start thinking and rolling on the same way.
They might not have no choice but to fuck with Turkey if they want to survive. It might get to a point where they breaking the door down to go in and get a deal with Turkey. Them motherfuckers gonna be struggling, man. I'm telling you, 5 cars last year.
After announcing this great big deal with Amazon. And that's all. It ain't even they were supposed to get like 11 shows if I ain't mistaken, and they only done 5. And of them 5, 3 or 4 were pay-per-views? Man, that's crazy. But I will say this. They got what's my guy named Trey that got the WBC belt at middleweight from they get Dominican guy. Huh?
You talking about Janabek?
No, the Dominican dude with PBC.
You say he Dominican?
I think he is the one that got Charlo old belt.
Adames,
Carlos Adames. He fighting on that Turkey card on the 22nd. So he
might get his ass whooped too. He fighting Hamza Saras.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. He put his belt on the line against a non-PBC fighter and probably gonna lose it. So I will say I think these fighters putting pressure on them, but they want opportunities. You know what I'm saying? They got, like I said, man, these guys got to fight. I don't know. I look at it like this: most people they live based on the kind of money they make, right? I mean, some people overdo it, some are very budget friendly, whatever. But I look at it like this: if these guys making hundreds of thousands of dollars a fight, and they consistently fighting, and all of a sudden they don't fight for a long time, and their lifestyle set up based on that, they gonna get to the point where they going to the boss and saying, "Hey, I can't turn this opportunity down. I gotta work. I gotta eat." So they willing to take risks that they normally wouldn't take themselves, and then they put their handlers in a position to send them out there in situations they normally wouldn't put them in because they ain't got no work for them. Because I don't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't saying that the guy shouldn't have the mentality to say, "Hey, I can go out here and beat Hamza Sarab," but I look at it like he ain't been active enough and putting in the body of work lately to say that for me to feel like that's a good matchup for him. But hey, he gonna go out there, at least he getting a paycheck. And he got an opportunity, he'll fight her, he'll a pride fighter. But I think the odds stacked against him. I think he'll go out there and get himself handled. But I brought that up to say that, maybe Barrios, even though he just fought on that, I think there was Jake Paul Tyson card that Barrios fought on.
Yeah, he fought on that card.
Yeah, so I mean, he got some fresh eyes on him and stuff like that. But knowing PBC, they'll let him get stale. Because I mean, they actually had a good fight. I mean, it was supposed to be a fight that Barrios was gonna shine, but it actually ended up being a dog fight. And I mean, really, the logical choice there might be for them to run that fight back. Might be what PBC want to do if they can find a card to put it on. But I think the dude need to capitalize on having that belt. And they need to try to get him on one of these Riyadh cards and let him make some money while he got that belt, because the way it looked like he's gonna be relieving that belt pretty soon.
Yeah, he wanted the shakiest champions in all of boxing.
Look at Shaky, baby.
Who, Mario?
Hell yeah. He one of the weakest champions in all of boxing. Mario Barrios.
Yeah, I feel you. Gotta remember you saying that you can't really trust a dude that his sister is the reason he fight.
Exactly. He the opposite of Crawford. He ain't the one that was in the hood whooping everybody. He was the good kid that followed his sister to the gym and started boxing.
Man. But boy, damn, that's he said the opposite of Crawford. Why? Wait up, sis. I'm going with you. Not to protect you, because I need your protection.
Yeah, he one of the weakest champions, man. I mean, folks be talking about fighting Barrios coming off layoffs. They be talking about fighting him as a tune-up and shit. And he done came up on the belt. How the fuck did he get a belt? Who he beat to get a belt? Ugas or some shit? Was that like a?
Yeah, I think so. I think when Crawford moved up, they made Ugas and Barrios for a vacant title. I believe that's how it came about.
Yeah, see that, and Ugas was he coming off a layoff?
Ugas had beat Pat. No, you're right. He was coming off of that was his first fight back with Spence. Yeah, he was coming off a
Spence. Yeah,
lost, layoff, and surgery.
Yeah, that shit is shaky as hell, man. I'm telling you, Barrios got one more fight to keep his belt. If he fights somebody that can fight, like he said, he fought Uncle Ramos this last fight, and Uncle Ramos came and fought back and had some shaky moments for Barrios off in there. If he get off in there with somebody with a pulse and can fog a mirror and can really fight, that's his last fight with that belt.
Yeah. Hey, all the other champions licking their chops at the opportunity to pick that belt up off of him.
Well, he gonna fight hard. You can't give him that. He gonna fight hard in defense of it.
Man, I'm sitting over here thinking, can I get back in shape and go get me a belt? Barrios got a bit. Come on, man. That ain't no real champion. He tough now. Don't get me wrong. I know he done been off in there with Akhmedov and a few motherfuckers going to war. But he is like a solid B level fighter. Is basically what we saying. He's not no A level, nothing. He is solid B level.
Dang. Well, Hyphy say MZ Turkey doesn't have to have fighters signed to control them. He can just buy up all the talent around Gervonta, which would force Gervonta to play ball by default. That could go to one of the reasons why he say don't play with a lion.
Man, I don't even want him going after Tank like that. If Tank don't want to do business, let Tank sit over there. Eventually, people gonna realize all this going on everywhere else, and this is what Tank doing. And he ain't gonna have no choice but to actually, he gonna start calling for them fights if he want to stay relevant. All they gotta do is hit his pocket, man. If people start buying BS, you know what I'm saying? I don't mean no disrespect to Rhodes or nothing like that, but man, every fight ain't meant to be on pay-per-view. And that's the model that PBC got, is like, once somebody get on pay-per-view, they supposed to be on pay-per-view from now on. No, if you get on pay-per-view, if you fight pay-per-view, you should be fighting in a pay-per-view worthy fight. And that's what fans need to look at and say, okay, I ain't about, just stealing fights or whatever, but I ain't gotta watch it, period. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't pay-per-view, I'm not gonna pay to see it. And that's what PBC did, even that last year with Showtime, was, all right, we're gonna give y'all the fights we done starved y'all out on, but we put them on pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Because we should have got Benavidez versus Plant before we got it, and it shouldn't have been on pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? By the time we got it, we done waited so long, they felt like, okay, we put it on pay-per-view, people gonna buy it. But with Tank putting all that stuff on pay-per-view, man, and then you got look at this card on the 22nd, and just say if Tank card was on the same time, you had to be just brand loyal or a plumb fool to say you want to watch the Tank card for $80 or whatever they charging, instead of watching a Riyadh season card, even if it was the same amount of money.
That Riyadh card gonna be
Same amount of
stacked. I
money.
don't know what you tripping. That Riyadh card gonna be stacked. Tank and Roach, I don't think they card is gonna stack up against the Riyadh card. So they wherever he fighting at,
Man, if they took half of the people off that Riyadh card, Tank card ain't gonna stack up again. They took half of those fights and said they're gonna put them on another weekend. Tank card wouldn't stack up against either one of the cards.
Whew.
Yeah, they ain't in the same sentence, same book, same library, bro. Those are two different level pay-per-views. Hell, if Turkey said, man, I need $80 for this pay-per-view, how can you really even complain? I mean, that is kind of like the going rate almost in the game, and he actually giving you a product that's worth it.
Right.
Man, like he ain't disrespecting you by saying, okay, I need $80, but I'm gonna give you some trash. He's saying I need $80, but I'm about to give you a Super Bowl of boxing today. You know what I'm saying?
And a concert.
Hey, I'd rather pay $80 if I knew he wasn't gonna have a concert on there.
Yeah.
Dang.
Hey, let me pay that premium. I'll pay $85 if my version don't show the concert.
Yeah, real talk.
I feel you. AI Meets and Music says Tank ain't gonna play ball. He would sooner retire than fight actual threats. He'll take his ball and go home.
Man, I ain't gonna miss Tank.
Yeah, I can't say I will either. I mean, we just not seeing the type of fights that we want to see him in. I mean, even like Shakur fighting this Schofield kid. Man, I got major respect for Shakur taking a fight like that. That is a type of fight that's indicative of the type of season that we in boxing, where you seeing young guys getting down and shit. I couldn't see Tank fight nobody like this.
Yeah, look at Morrell and Benavidez. With the amount of fight Morrell got, a lot of people, been saying he ain't ready. Now, maybe if you say, okay, had he had a little more season, the fight might have turned out the other way. But at the same time, he was in the fight. You know what I'm saying? So I feel, I mean, I got to give him, both of them guys, credit. Morrell being a young guy ready to take that type of challenge that soon, and Benavidez taking on a young, hungry guy who with some unknowns. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got so much of a sample size to look at to say what this guy really is and what he can do. So,
look how player Turkey is. Even though that was a PBC card, he talking about the winner fight Benavidez
right
on some Riyadh season shit.
Right.
That's some player shit.
Yeah. All day.
Hold up. Let's take away the young guy and the young guy within. Let's just say two guys that was young, because Benavidez is only a year older than Maria, right?
I'm talking about their experience in the pro game. That's all.
Yeah, that part.
I mean, young in the pro game, not necessarily in his age.
Yeah, because I can see a great growth ceiling for Maria. But I agree with you. We got that fight. We got
Yeah.
that fight. We didn't
Lot
have to
lot
wait
of
for it to
guys ain't
marinate a
risking
long
no.
time.
Lot of guys ain't risking no under 20 fights. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Going
Yeah,
into
I
a
agree,
fight where
100.
they gonna be the underdog and all that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys just don't do that. And a lot of guys handlers won't let them do it. So I got
Well, I'm
much
glad
respect for
they
Schofield too.
going in there with Shakur like that.
Yes, sir.
I respect that. I respect that totally 100 because Shakur didn't have to take this fight with this youngster. He didn't have to do that. But this puts Tank in the behind the 8 ball, if you want to put it in so many ways. Our boy Decay, AI meets in music, not our boy, but our brother. He says, totally agree with D-Lo. One fight on pay-per-view don't mean all your fights should be on pay-per-view. They look at themselves as pay-per-view fighters. That's going back to Earl Spence, what I was saying with Al Heyman, from what he was saying was putting them in a situation where you're getting started, you start thinking about retirement. You're going to fight in these kind of fights. We're going to get you the most money for each fight. That way you don't have to have as many fights and you can retire sooner. I believe that that's what they feed them. And he said they thinking about themselves as being pay-per-view fighters rather than determining what's a pay-per-view fight. That's a great way to say that there, bro.
Yeah, that's that Mayweather shit though, man. Everybody want to be Mayweather, follow that blueprint. But that was yesterday. That was last week, man. That's the past, man. We done moved on to a new era in boxing. The way that things were being operated back then, they starting to not be operated like that. We getting undisputed fighters. We getting young fighters going against each other, putting their O's up early on in the game and shit. We got us a huge deal McIntosh type motherfucker. That's turkey out the sheet. He gonna come with them deep pockets and make the fight happen. If he hears some wars or rumors of wars, that motherfucker say, nigga, let's make it happen. Y'all on social media going back and forth, nigga, let's make it happen. That's the kind of era that we in right now. All of that pay-per-view shit every fucking month. We got 2-3 pay-per-views to pay for. They all top heavy and they all expensive. That's last week shit, man. They need to get with the times.
Our brother Hyphy say PBC selling 8s for $60. Turkey selling zips for 20. Turkey run the block. That product hot.
Square, you got that blue magic over there, man.
Ooh, not that Frank Lucas.
Yeah, he got the most potent shit for the cheapest price. Yeah.
I for one, I done heard people had their opinions, say it was a bad move. I'm grateful he here. And if I'm seeing down the road correctly, I believe boxing is gonna get a little galvanized where we gonna be happy with the product that's getting put out on a regular. I gotta say that for sure.
I'm already happy, man. We got good fights every weekend. You know what I'm saying? They might not all be Riyadh season, but they be some good cards and shit on the zone and different platforms. We got some top rank shit this weekend. We got super fights coming up and shit, super cards coming up. I'm very happy with boxing right now, man. They moving in the right direction.
Hey, Joe Joyce and Dillian White, is that coming around the corner? Is Joe Joyce got his feet back up under it, or can he beat? Or can Gorilla Arms, cause he got some long ass arms, pull off a win over the Juggernaut?
That motherfucker probably should be favored in the fight, man. They done broke Joe Joyce's chin. He ain't that guy no more, man. He like Jerry Hurd now, man. Once you break through, them folks that like to walk through punches, they whole careers be over like different. Like they be good as long as they can walk through them shots. But once you break through and get the cracking on them, they be different. Just like that Roman VI motherfucker that lost to Boots Ennis. He was very tough. Me and D-Lo watched the fight one day. We say, man, how many of these punches this motherfucker gonna take, man? He keep on taking these punches. Can he keep on taking them? And then eventually, Boots Ennis chopped down that tree. He could not continue to take them punches. And he ain't the same guy no more. That motherfucker came out there and got knocked out. I can't remember the name of the dude. He got knocked out by 3 rounds, man. Some shit like that. Jerry Hurd, once they broke through his chin, he started trying to box. He started getting on the outside, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. He thought he was the will of the wisp or some shit. He said, man, I ain't trying to walk through them punches no more. That shit hurts.
Hell no.
I'm about to
Hey,
box.
hey, that's just like I say. I bring this up. You bring this up all the time on y'all channel. Like I said, that guy Librado Andrade. I used to watch that joke. He used to just walk through punching, blocking, punching with his face. But you only got so many of them you're gonna take in a career. At some point, them chin points get knocked off, and then all of a sudden you got that same guy that walked through everything can't take a good shot no more.
Yeah, and that tread don't regrow, man. Once that tread gone, it's gone. So this motherfucker Joyce, he ain't the same guy no more. He ain't the juggernaut no more. He used to be one of my favorite fighters, man. I used to fuck with the juggernaut. You know, he tough, deep amateur background. He was wearing down, beating up motherfuckers like Bakadij Jalaloff in the amateurs, you know what I'm saying? But they done broke through. So
Now
I,
he
I
just
think
a
it's a
knot.
wrap, man. I'm gonna have to rock with Dillian White, man. I think he got the better boxing skills overall. And I think that's gonna carry him today. I think he a little too got more speed than Joe Joyce. He's slow as hell, and now his chin suspect. So we gonna see.
Dang.
Yeah,
The
that's
knot. You can't call it the juggernaut no more. He just the knot. Because that day when he fell down in slow motion, he like it just the way he fell down in that fight. That's the fight to me that he just lost. He lost his his superpower. Who was that knocked him out that he just fell down in stages like that? I can't remember. Was
probably
it
the
Big
the
Billy Zane?
big bang.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
big
was Big
bang.
Bang when he punched him and he just it looked like a transformer breaking down. He just didn't turn into a car or a plane or nothing.
Hey, somebody ought to go back and make that and put that transformer song, that sound in there.
Cause he was folding out like, damn, I ain't seen nobody fall that slow in a long time. I have to agree. I have to agree with you. Uh, from that, yeah, he ain't. None of those dudes is those dudes no more. When Wilder took his fall, I was like, damn, that's it. That's it. AJ, he took his fall. That's it. That's it. All the ones, Jerry Hurd looked like a fish out of water trying to box. Cause I'm so used to seeing him going forward and just eating punches and just wearing you down. It don't look right on him. But I feel him. You know, he do say, hey, I gotta change up. I can't just keep getting punched in the face. I can feel him trying to find his way. I don't know if he gonna find his way back to the top. But you know, I guess he enjoying it enough now that he still can make him some money. Joseph Brown, the judge, the honorable Joe Brown, that came in the house. JB was happy. Say salute MZ in the chat.
Salute.
But damn, I lost my frame of thought.
Yeah, you were just talking about how these guys after they, guys start getting knocked out is like they
Oh yeah, they out of
they,
there.
they had to change it up or they gonna get knocked out some more. Oh, you got some guy who, with the right rest or whatever, they seem to make a comeback and better have a little more punch resistance later on. But I think like a lot of these guys we talking about, they took accumulation of punches over years where they were looking invincible. And then when it finally, like Trey said, when it finally broke through, it was a wrap. It ain't like they just got caught with a perfect shot or a real nice shot and went down. It's like they got broke down over time.
That health meter.
Yeah, like I said, man, I talk about all the time, and I know he's my favorite fighter, and I probably put some cables on him sometime, but I always said, man, that Jerry Hurd fight versus Laura, man, Laura was hitting that dude with some clean, crisp shots, and it was some of his best work, and the dude was eating it. But he was, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't just walking straight forward like a T-1000. He was kind of like, you could tell he was feeling him. But then he eventually dropped Laura. But hell, if you go fast forward, it looked like the person who got the worst of the fight was Jerry Hurd. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the very next fight he got stopped.
Yeah, that took
Yeah,
a lot
from
out of him.
he got
That was a
stopped by
grueling fight.
Huh?
Hey, what's Julius? He got stopped by J Rock.
Yeah, J Rock stopped him. J Rock ain't even known for being, that type of dude. Go out there just stopping stuff. You know what I'm saying? But man, Laura be punching, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude is a precision puncher. You know what I'm saying? When he sit down on his shot, man, he hurt stuff. And he was, you know what I'm saying? He was hitting that dude. That's why I was like, man, I was astonished by how good the dude's chin was. But like I said, coming out of that, he ain't been the same fighter since. I know, Laura ain't the one that stopped him, so the credit gonna always go to the guy that actually stopped him. If you're saying when did it all go wrong for him? But I think if you look at that fight, you could tell he came into that fight not able to really take no shots. Like it was almost like the first time J Rock hit him clean, he couldn't take it. And it might have been a combination of him staying at a weight that he was squeezing himself down to for so many years. Because we seen how big the guy was, when he wasn't in fights. So I mean, they say he was coming down from around 200 pounds. So that might have played a huge part in it too.
I
Trey,
want
you
to
was
talk
getting
about
ready to say something?
some of the fights that's coming up this weekend and shit. I'm gonna have to get off in a minute. I gotta go find me something to eat, man. I'm over here with a headache like a motherfucker because I ain't had enough protein today. But I wanted to talk about some of the fights this weekend before I jumped off. So we got Dennis Berinchik versus Keyshawn Davis this week. Keyshawn going for his first title, if I'm not mistaken. I think this guy Berinchik, he won his first title against Emmanuel Navarrete. On as far as the pedigree scale go, it don't get no closer. We got two bona fide 4.5s going against each other. Keyshawn won an Olympic silver medal. Berinchik won an Olympic silver medal. They both won silver medals at the AIBA World Championships as well. So we got bona fide 4.5 versus bona fide 4.5. Both of them undefeated in the pros. Berinchik is 36 though, and Keyshawn is much younger. I can't think of his age off the top of my head. I think he's about 24, 25, something like that. So he definitely got the age advantage. I think he got the skill set advantage too, just as far as the pro style goes. I know Berinchik's got the win over Navarrete, but it wasn't the prettiest thing that you ever seen. I mean, it was raggedy looking, but he got the win, you know what I'm saying? But I just can't see him beating no Keyshawn Davis, man. I don't know if Keyshawn is stopping, but I'm definitely looking at Keyshawn Davis by decision in this fight. And we also got Xander Zayas coming up. He fighting against this guy named Slava Spomer. I think he from Germany or something like that. He one of them real tough macho type fighters. Like he want to get up in your chest and hit you with some hard shots. Like he ain't got a whole bunch of knockouts. I want to say his knockout percentage is about 55%. But he one of them fighters that want to just come and scrap with you. He got some decent technique as far as his punches go. It don't look like he just winging them motherfuckers from his ankles or nothing. But he coming to fight though. He ain't really been in a ring with nobody on the level of Zayas though. So I'm really looking for Zayas to possibly stop him, but I won't be surprised if it go the distance because this Spomer guy is very tough. So we got Big Baby Anderson back in the ring too, huh? He fighting this guy named Mario Calais or something like that. I had checked the guy out a little bit, man. He actually fights back. He got a nice left hook to the body. He one of them dudes that's gonna step to you and throw some punches. He got some sharp punches though. I'm actually kind of worried about Jared Anderson a little bit. I mean, I know he could potentially have the mindset that he want to go and set the record straight, and let everybody know that he ain't no punk and he gonna come whoop something. But at the same time, this guy can hit him back, and he got the ability to put some doubt in his mind because he already got doubt in his mind. He got destroyed by Bakoli. So what kind of mind state is this man gonna be in? If he ain't in the right mind state, this guy can be a real problem because he gonna come fight back, man. He gonna come throw punches. I did pick Jared Anderson on the Champ Ross by knockout. I think like a late knockout or some shit. Might have been mid rounds or something, but I won't be surprised if that shit ain't right and this guy comes and make this a real tough fight. So we also got the Vito Mill Nicky Jr. kid. He fighting against Connor Coyle. Connor Coyle, he had about 225 amateur fights. He won a silver medal at the Commonwealth Games. He about 34 years old, so he been around the block a few times, but this is a step up in class for him going against Vito Mielnicki. Vito was about 147 and 22 as an amateur. He was a multi-time national champion. Bonafide 3.5 going against a 4 actually in Connor Coyle. I don't know if Coyle is strong enough for Mielnicki though. Mielnicki very tough, but at the same time, he did take a loss to a man that don't have no knockouts. That kid from Philadelphia. I can't think of the kid is related to somebody. I just can't remember who it is. But I won't be surprised if Connor Coyle get this guy some problems, man. I might should pick him, but I'm gonna go ahead and ride with Mielnicki because I just think he's just too strong for the guy. You know, if you look at them in the ring, Mielnicki just looks significantly stronger. And plus he got a stiff jab, he work off the jab. Coyle got a good jab too. It just don't look as authoritative as Mielnicki's. So I prefer him and I like the body work and stuff like that. I ain't gonna go through all the fights. I'm just gonna pick out some ones that stood out to me. We got Abdullah Mason coming back in the ring. He's been a favorite of mine for the last couple of years as far as the up and coming prospects. I had actually said that's my young fighter right there. You know what I'm saying? He got caught a couple of times in his last fight, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been the fight before. One of his last 2 fights, he got caught a couple of times. He touched the canvas for the first time in his career, but he composed himself and he came back with something. In this fight right here, he got a real tough guy, man. He going against a 2.5 on the pedigree scale. The man went the distance against Rolly Romero. Rolly was hitting him with some hard shots, you know what I'm saying? But the dude seemed to have a real good chin. He wasn't going nowhere. He kept on coming to Rolly. He wasn't really letting his hands go like he was trying to win, but he was coming to Rolly. I went on ahead and took Mason by knockout, though. I wanted to take him by decision because it's Southpaw versus Orthodox. The other guy, he a 2.5, shows some toughness, but I can't base the toughness on the Rolly Romero fight because I feel like Mason will beat the brakes off of Rolly Romero. So yeah, you went the distance against Rolly, nigga, but that don't mean that you're gonna go the distance against this motherfucker Mason. Mason is tough in there. You know what I'm saying? We got Delonte Johnson back in there. Jack Catterall versus Arnold Barbosa. That's one that I'm looking forward to. Normally the UK fighters, they struggle with the Mexican fighters. You know, they normally get their ass whooped. I'm gonna go ahead and ride with Barbosa. Jack Catterall, he was about 40 and 18 as an amateur. He was winning schoolboy championships and shit. He was like a national champion in the UK. Not really nothing to write home about. He done some good things in the pros, though. Don't get me wrong. He done beat Josh Taylor. He done beat Regis Prograis. He got some momentum up under him right now. Also, Barbosa coming in with some momentum, too, because he just went out there and knocked out Jose Ramirez, a motherfucking Olympian. He got an amateur background. I can't really find much concrete information about it. Only thing I saw was that he had about 70 to 80 amateur fights, and he fought in a bunch of smokers. Smokers are like some underground hardcore sparring sessions that some people count as real fights because they so intense. It's kind of like the doghouse. So he done basically had like a dozen doghouse fights or some shit that they was talking about. But as a pro, he very seasoned. I did see he had some trouble with his last Southpaw. He fought this motherfucker named Sean McComb or something like that. Southpaw from, I want to say, Ireland. He had some trouble with this guy, but this guy was tall though. He was about 5'10", 5'11" coming with the Southpaw stance. Now he got a man that's 5'7" coming with the Southpaw stance. Barbosa, he liked to box on the outside. That's what he liked to do. Get out there, work his jab and shit. And I'm seeing a lot of confidence coming from Catterall. Since he done got the wins, he feel like he a bad motherfucker now. He all at the press conference talking about he gonna knock Barbosa out and all this all kind of shit. I think he about to get humbled, man. We about to see. They got Catterall is a pretty nice favorite. I put a bet on Barbosa by decision at plus 300 on Bet US. I had took him on the money line on Bovada. Me and Yasser, we'll probably put something on it on Sky Bet. But I think we got action, man. I won't be surprised if we lose, but I think we got action at that shit. So we're gonna go for it. Let me see what else we got. Y'all give me a second. I done got off the goddamn page some kind of way. Okay, so then we got Oscar Duarte versus Miguel Medueno. That's gonna be a real good fight. Mordueno is a late replacement though, because the original opponent was Riga's Prograis. But Mordueno is very tough. He a seasoned fighter. He's been around the block a few times. Got some power. 31-3 with 28 knockouts. He definitely, I think he got the better chin out the two fighters. I respect Duarte, but I don't think he got the best chin. I saw him take a left hook from Ryan Garcia. He looked like he didn't even know where the fuck he was. Then he tried to play it off and act like he wanted to beat the count. Nigga, he didn't want to beat the count. We seen what happened, you know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be a good one that I'm looking forward to. And we also got Darius Fulgham coming up. We've seen him a few times. He one of them prospects that got some promise. And we got a few more fighters coming up, man. So y'all check the fights out this weekend. I'm about to go ahead and go get me something to eat though, because I'm hungry than a motherfucker, starving like Marvin Gaye and Luther Vandross. So I appreciate you letting me get on the panel, OG. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to my nigga D-Lo. And I'm gonna be in the chat listening.
Peace, man.
Man, peace. Lou, thanks for coming through. AI, DeCane said Zayas and Spomer, I guess that's how you say their names, are both 20-0, but Spomer is German and has fought all but one of his fights in Germany. You know about those two, D-Lo?
Yeah. Trey talked about that. That's why he was saying that Spomer kid seemed pretty tough. He's gonna come to fight, but he thinks Zayas might be able to get him out of there. I went with Zayas on Champ Ross too. I think I picked him by stoppage, I believe in that too. You just never know with Xander, because he had that fight the last time out. I just knew he would get a stoppage. I can't remember who he was fighting. He was fighting on Savvy Vet that been around, but the guy I think he was coming off a good layoff. But Xander just couldn't get him out of there. But you just never know with those situations. I think it might have been like a big, holiday, Puerto Rican holiday. Might have been that Puerto Rican Day Parade card or something. I can't remember. But, he's a young fighter, so, sometimes these young fighters be in their head. Sometimes they be out there trying to force a knockout instead of letting it come to them. So you just never know with these young fighters. But I do think Zayas is going to be favored to win the fight. A lot of times when you have these guys that only had all these fights in their home country or the country they're based out of, you just don't really know a whole lot about what you're going to get. If you go comb down the box rec and look at the opponents, you don't recognize a single name. Most of the guys that they got they piled up these wins against got records that are just slightly over 50%, slightly over a winning record, or some below a winning record, some with, double-digit losses, things like that. So, of course, when you look at it from that aspect, is an unknown, other than just saying, if you can go find the fights and look at it and kind of see, what's to the guy. But, I have to go with what I know. For me, I know what Xander Zayas brings to the table. And I feel like, a situation like this, when these type opponents get picked, I think they're picked because of, what they know about them and what they feel like they can exploit. And they bring them in and like, okay, this is a guy that has a really good record, but he's going to make, this is going to make my guy look even better. He goes out here and take this guy 0.
I want to say one more thing, man, before I go. Zayas, if you look at his opponents, they full of his schedule is full of Iron Men. Like he got 8 people that went the distance with him. If you look at all 8 people, they only got about 2 knockouts between all 8 of them. I'm talking about you got motherfuckers that got 3-4 losses and ain't never been stopped. They done been in there with power punches, ain't never been stopped. That guy that you said you expected him to knock out, we took Xander Zayas by decision in that fight because he fought an Iron Man. Like
who the guy was coming off layoff? Who was it? You remember?
I don't remember his name, but he was very tough. And
Zayas, I think it was a layoff is why I picked the stoppage on Champ Raw. But I remember.
I think it was a major layoff though.
Was it? Okay.
No,
I know we won on the bet though. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Zayas, he looked extremely sharp in that fight. I thought he might stop him, to be honest with you. He looked extremely sharp. If he come looking sharp against this guy, I think he's going to get his ass up out of there, because I don't have any information to prove that he's an Iron Man yet. He looks tough, but I don't have the data to back it up. You know what I'm saying? But Xander Zayas, he only got a 60% knockout percentage. But if you replace them Iron Men with some regular motherfuckers, he would probably have a much higher knockout percentage. So his shit is
great point.
Yeah, his shit is a little bit deceptive. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to just add in there. All the Iron Man that he been fighting, and I guess we can say, well, never mind. I thought I'm tripping. That's a top rank fighter, right? I was about to give PBC some credit. Them motherfuckers don't get shit.
No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, that's just another
Dang.
fighter that
Hey,
top rank did a good job in building.
PBC done fell
he
from
might have
grace.
a couple PBC fighters on this belt already.
Yeah. All right.
Dang. But I remember I used to get much love. Now Al the proprietor in boxing. People just down with PVC. It is, well, you made your bed, you gotta sleep in it. But
Yeah, I'm on Box Rec now. Hopefully it'll pull on up. I'm trying to see who that opponent was that I was talking about.
okay.
But
He
yeah,
getting someone to put
I
on the
like
plate.
Ozan though. He one of my favorite of the up and coming guys. I think he got a lot of potential to really look good. And actually, the fight I was talking about wasn't his last fight. It was his next to last fight. It was Patrick Teixeira. If you remember him, that's the guy who Brian Mendoza won the belt off of before he fought Charlo in that undisputed fight. Teixeira was out of Brazil.
What's the other guy's name that gave Charlo the hard fight?
Mendoza, the guy
I
he
was
fought for
proud of him.
undisputed, the guy he had to fight two, another one of them guys he had to fight 2 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Brian Mendoza, short, 154 pounder. Yeah, I think he was I don't know what he was on pedigree scale, but I think he was pretty solid. You know, he had a win over Spence in the amateurs. You know what I'm saying? He was he tough dude, man. I like, you know what I'm saying? I thought he won that first fight, but hey, it went the way it went. And in the second fight, I think Charlo did a little bit better job listening to the trainer. And I think Mendoza just got caught with, one or too many big shots and just never recovered.
I don't know why I want to call him something else. But yeah, the first fight, you couldn't be mad if they had to say he beat Charlo, because that is the fight that Earl Spence was like, he'll be doing a lot better, but he got to listen to coach.
Right.
And then he came out the second fight, he did have a better showing.
Yeah, and Trey was right when Trey said that guy wasn't coming off of no layoff when he fought Zayed. He had just fought like 3 months earlier. I don't know why I thought he had came out. I thought the dude was coming out like a year layoff for some reason. What I was thinking when I watched the fight. I mean, when I was making my pick. But yeah, sure enough, he actually had just fought. He had just fought like 3 months before he fought Zayed. So you know what I'm saying? Zayed definitely was trying his best to get him up out of there. He just couldn't do it. But he put in some great work. I like him. I think he one of the top young guys in the sport. He pretty much he right around the corner from turning the corner to contendership and actually putting himself in position to fight for a title, pretty soon. And I don't see no setbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't look like he primed for nothing to derail that right now.
Right. As I was going to say, speaking of landscapes changing, it brings me back to Moody Trayweather, because he did put up the question, the statement. He said, it's crazy how the heavyweight changed over 5 years. Not really, because when you look at it, the guys that were at the top, they all kind of had age on them. They got some age on them. So I would say this is the perfect time for it to be making the metamorphosis and flip with the different heavyweights. It's just who's gonna come up on top. Speaking of Big Baby Anderson, off of what Trey was saying, in my opinion, I don't really know how I want to look at the dude, because we had already had questions about his mental, and now I'm gonna have to say his mental and going with his toughness, because this the same dude that was crying with Roy Jones. And then he thought he was talking that talk, and he went out there with Bacoli and got showed to what for, and got hands put on him with that. So him coming back now, I'm kind of looking at him side-eyed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the simple reason, he just showed so much softness already. So
Yeah, I didn't.
This
Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this might be one of those situations where Trey was saying that you might the pedigree scale might don't really put him in a certain way. You might have to reevaluate this cat because his mental ain't, to me, his mental is shaky. And then he went out there and got his ass beat the way he got his ass beat. I just don't know if this dude that he getting ready to face might you saying he might come out there and fight hard. I don't know. Anderson might be a little shaky. We gotta look at him, man. We gotta really see and evaluate this cat.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. One thing about young fighters, in general, even I'll even say, Devin Haney, which I know you know, he's a veteran, but I think he still has a lot of youth in him, especially just because of his personal situation with his dad being as big a role player in his career and in his corner and stuff like that. I think sometimes that kind of plays a part in you kind of looking at a fighter as being youthful still, even though they probably closing in on 30 years of age. You know what I'm saying? So I just look at it like you never know how these young fighters gonna bounce back from a loss. You never know how a young fighter like take for instance Ryan Garcia. He didn't lose, but look what happened to Ryan Garcia after he had that first bad knockdown. You know what I'm saying? Look how it pretty much changed his career temporarily. Like he kind of went from being this guy that was taken very serious as a up and coming contender, prospect / contender, to almost being like a joke for a while. And now you got, and it wasn't because of the knockdown, it was because of how he handled things after the knockdown, with pulling out of fights, turning down fights, talking about his mental health and just all kind of stuff. So when you look at that and then you contrast that with, Devin Haney coming off of what happened with Garcia in the aftermath of it, you know what I'm saying? And then you look at Anderson and the things we knew about him and how I guess you could say he kind of seemed a little fragile mentally, whether it's overwhelmed with things in his personal life or whatever the case may be. It's just the way he bared it out before the world. It wasn't really a good look for a prize fighter. So when you factor in that and then the way he got beat and the way he was talking before he got beat, and you have to wonder, you know what I'm saying, is the best thing for him a quick turnaround and get right back in the ring? Is the best thing for him to take a break and kind of regroup and go back to the drawing board and figure out what he needs to do differently? Shake up his camp, what the case may be, or is it they doing the right thing, getting right back on the saddle? Because you think about it, he getting back in the ring before Bacoli is. You know what I'm saying? So I do like that, having the attitude that, hey, I gotta pick myself back up and just get back into it. But you don't know what's gonna happen if the going get tough in the fight. If he hit this guy a couple times hard and the guy's still there, how is Anderson gonna respond to that? Or the guy start hitting him, with some good stuff. Is that dog gonna come out of him that was there before in the past, where he would just, turn it up a notch and get a guy out of there that was fighting back? Or is he gonna start, taking steps back because he gonna have, flashbacks of what happened in the Bacoli fight? You just never know. So I think, being concerned and having a little unsureness about how this thing might play out for him, I think that's really normal and natural. Because he's a young fighter. We just don't know. We ain't never seen him come off a loss before. So we're going to find out what he made out. We really finna find out what he made out of in the next fight.
Yeah. Okay. I think Big Bro saying, how about how Crunk Davis was in the first half and bye-bye in the second? And I think that's relating to Ryan. And I think what you're speaking about, Ryan, when you speak about Ryan and Devin and them taking their losses, it's kind of different when you classify Anderson, because Anderson had outwardly spoke weekly, sitting there crying, talking about not wanting the pressure. With Ryan and Devin, they didn't have that. They actually was in a fight that brought it out of them. Prior to that, they was talking pretty brave and pretty I'm this, I'm that. They wasn't talking with doubt. This
Right.
dude was talking with doubt, you know. So that's what got me nervous about him, because he put out doubt before he even had to face any consequences or go out there and have a struggle. You get what I'm saying? Prior
Right.
to that, he was pretty high on himself, because he really wasn't having no struggles in no fights.
You
He was
know,
pretty much he
Go
was
ahead, go
pretty much getting to outshine the cats. You know what I'm saying? But Ryan and Devin, their deal was, you know, I'm good, and they weren't talking backwards. You know, Tank made Ryan, he show us that, okay, you know, people start talking about Ryan because he gave up while he was on his knee. Be it him saying he was drained or whatever, he was pretty crunk in the first half of the fight against Tank. You know, he tried to jump on Tank and everything. It just didn't work out for him.
well,
Devin, he was talking about how he was going to whoop Ryan. Ryan went out there and corrected. This is the part that I got from what you were saying.
so
Ryan,
he corrected it.
yeah, he corrected what happened to him, because, you know, he gave up against Tank. People talked about it. What did he do? He turned around and he went out there and beat the brakes off Devin. So now people instantly forgot about him quitting with Tank and said he beat your ass, Devin.
Yeah.
And what
So
we got to ride with on Devin is you sued.
yeah,
You
the
didn't go out there
aftermath,
and beat nobody.
the fallout after what happened to him. And see
Right.
that what I was talking about with Ryan, I wasn't even talking about the Tank fight. I was talking about the Campbell fight when he got dropped bad. He came back and got that stoppage, but after that, Ryan Garcia pretty much took a break from boxing. You know what I'm saying? He pulled out a couple fights. He turned down the fight with Devin Haney, because he was Devin Haney mandatory after that. Turned that down. So at that point, he was kind of like a laughing stock, you know what I'm saying? And then he eventually got the Tank, worked his way. He finally fought what's the lefty? What's the guy? Fortuna. He beat Fortuna. And then he got that Tank fight. You know, he actually pulled out a fight before the Tank fight too. He didn't want to take no chance. He was supposed to fight that Filipino guy. I forgot his name. The one that beat he beat Jojo Diaz. I forget. God dog.
He didn't want to put
Mauricio
the fight in.
Hester, whatever. It's spelled Gesta. Gesta, but I think it's pronounced Hester. But he pulled out a fight with that guy. So, you know what I'm saying? Ryan really had got his pullout game on strong after getting dropped in that fight against Luke Campbell. And that was what was kind of making him seem like a laughing stock, like he really wasn't sure of himself as he was before. You know what I'm saying? But then, and he went through the whole thing with the carousel of trainers and all that stuff. So that's what I'm saying when I'm talking about, like, you know, how his response to getting dropped was like worse than some fighter response to losing a fight. But you know, like you said with Anderson, my takeaway, honestly, from that interview with Roy Jones, it wasn't so much about the unsure himself or anything like that. My takeaway from his interview with Roy Jones was that this is a guy who feels the pressure of providing for his whole family, and he's young and don't feel like he should be in that position. And boxing is his way to do it, but he really don't. He was talking like boxing was just his way to do that, and he gonna do that, but he don't care about belts. He don't care about this. This is just how I make my money. And you know what I'm saying? And it, to me, I felt like once I heard him say that, and then of course with the emotion he was letting out, I was like, man, it's only a matter of time that this guy gonna get beat, because he really basically just said he really ain't that dedicated to the sport. It's just a job. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that, you know, you gotta have a lot of love and all that, but at the end of the day, it is about your why. But I feel like his why probably isn't the right why for the sport he's in.
Well, first of all, let me say what's up to Rod X. He said, "What's up, my people?" And then I'm gonna have to say what Adrian Broner said. Man, that's some soft ass shit right there, man. That's
Yeah, I mean, hey,
you out there for your family, and the best you gonna give me is you gonna say, I don't want all this pressure and say you for your family.
right. That wasn't something you, even if you feel that way, you know who you say that to?
Nobody.
A damn therapist. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you don't say that in front of the world, talking to one of the most decorated boxers of the last 50 years.
About fighting.
Right.
Yeah, get your ass out of here with that, And then, even if it's the analogy to fit your analogy, saying he doing it for his family, it's just a job. So what you're saying is you would give up and let your family be hungry. That's what I'm reading. Any softness with yeah, I'm just saying. I just don't have the
Hey,
confidence that
it
he
sounds like you said in a way, man, if I didn't have all these folks depending on me, I wouldn't be doing this. That's what it really sounded like. Like I really want to quit this sport. I ain't chasing this, I ain't chasing that. It's just about a paycheck because I got all these folks depending on me who really shouldn't be depending on me anyway, but they are.
okay, if you want to concede like that for him, I can see that. Still, that's soft in the mud.
Yeah.
So how'd you
Ain't
even
nobody
get
making
into
him box.
boxing? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure. How'd you even get here?
That's a good question, lady. Hey, he didn't get there by telling everybody that up front. I tell you that. It wasn't, hey, it wasn't till you know what I'm saying, something happened that made him feel like he just had to let that out. Maybe he was something he been wanting to say for a long time, but I don't think that was the right the right situation to say that.
Maybe he realized he got to a certain spot and he realized, oh shit, it's starting to get real around here. I'm starting to see the cats that was lurking that's supposed to be really there. I'm in that range now.
Yeah.
I'm not with the soft dudes no more. I done moved up. I'm in here with some dudes that's trying to get established.
And
Maybe that's what he saw.
what's crazy about all that is prior to that happening, that interview with Roy Jones, he was talking about wanting to fight the top guys that he was ready for. The Anthony Joshua, the Wilder, the Furies, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he ever mentioned Usyk, but he was, you know what I'm saying? He was talking about the top dudes. And you know what I'm saying? And then, shortly after that, he started having these performances where, he had some slippage. I think the Charles Martin fight, he got hurt pretty bad in that fight late and toward in the middle rounds, I think. A lot of people coming out of that fight, a lot of people started talking bad about him. You know what I'm saying? Basically saying that he wasn't what he was built to be. People like us who look at it with an analytical eye, we already seen that the kid had some deficiency that he needed to work on. One, stopping all that doggone unnecessary switching he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And just actually, going out there putting stuff together instead of going out there. Sometimes I feel like he was out there fighting instead of boxing when he needed to box. But at the end of the day, it was working for him. But that's like a lot of things, it work till it don't work.
Well, you did put it. You put a good point out, and it kind of fit what I was thinking when he fought Charles Martin. Well, let's just think about it. Charles Martin is a cat that's been in there with Anthony Joshua. He's been up there on that
Ortiz
top.
too.
Yeah, he's been up there on that top level, on that top level. And you had a problem with this dude, even because this dude didn't beat the top level guys. But this is what you finna start facing on a regular. Maybe his way of thinking, you starting to realize, shit, maybe this really ain't for me. But you in that situation now. The eyes are on you. The eyes have been following you. You done stepped into that spot where people are like, okay, here we are. Now it's time for you to really start shining. And maybe he feel like he ain't got that shine in him. I don't know if somebody could pull it out of him. Maybe I'm reading too much into it because of the way he acted with Roy. But it is, for me, that's mentally challenging. Where your heart at, and listening to what you making me think a different side of it and look at it out the box. If you fighting for your family and that's all you got in you, shit, they finna be hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, man, like, nobody I mean, you really think about it, man. Like, who, if you think as a man, out of all the people you got that love you, that you know love you in your life, even as much as they love you, they don't want to see your ass crying. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear you complain about how hard things are. That ain't what their relationship to you is. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? They don't look to you to for them to have to console you and pick you up. So and that's really the society we live in the way a lot of people relationships and the culture that they were brought up in is that nobody wants to hear a man complain and cry about how hard things are. So if it got to that point that he felt like he was just overcome with emotion, whatever it is, he couldn't have picked the worst setting to decide he want to lay all that out on the table.
Yeah. He showed his soft side. And as a man, a warrior sport, you win. We ain't trying to hit it. We are not
Right.
trying to hit it.
Right. We
You
can
know what I'm saying?
empathize.
You fight.
Look, we can empathize all day long. We were like, man, I really didn't want to hear that shit.
Right. And now if this was swimming, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I can understand. The water makes you tired, you get scared about drowning. But this fight, this out there kicking butt. And at heavyweight. And you've
been talking that big talk
before
this.
Before this. So once again, I have to put it out there, even though Brian and Devin and all of them had their ways, none of those dudes displayed any softness that I could remember prior to them losing. He the only one in this generation that I've seen that comes to mind right away. He's the only one. Even in the face of losing, Wilder still was trying to get back out there and do his thing. Speaking of Wilder, Hyphy said, who y'all bet the house on? Chisora or Wilder? If they was to fight next and Chisora just got a nice win over Valin or Wildin, or whoever is, however you say his crazy name, I think it's Aldervalin.
If they were fighting in Alabama, I pick Wilder. If they were fighting in the UK, I pick Chisora. How about that?
Okay,
and I mean Alabama. I don't mean the United States. I mean if they fight in Alabama.
Oh, he got to be at home. Damn. At least you saying, you know, it depends on who's at home. That's what you saying? No, yeah. That's not really what you saying. You said Chisora in the UK. You didn't specifically put it in a certain spot.
Well, when you think about from a geographical standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Like that, all of that stuff so close together. You know what I'm saying? It's if he in the UK, he gonna be in probably in London or whatever. So he gonna be at home. But for Wilder to be at home, he got to be in Alabama. You know what I'm saying?
He can't
like
be at the Barclays.
He can't be out in Vegas. He can't be at the Barclays. He had to be in Alabama. I give him the edge if they were fighting in Alabama. But if they fighting in the UK, I had to ride with Chisora right now.
You know the cool. You wrong in the motherfucker. You know that, right? You know that.
I didn't say they had to be fighting in the ring. Wilder got set up at his house. I just said in Alabama.
Someone cool. No, you ain't saying you got to have it at his house. But you strictly said a man got to be in Alabama.
His home state.
Alabama?
Put him in his home state in one of the venues he done fought in before. You know what I'm saying? Or if they got a bigger venue, put him in a decent sized venue in Alabama. I'm sure Mobile or what's the other one? Tupelo or one of them casinos. They got something. They got something out there that can put some people in. But besides that big old stadium that the Tide play in, maybe they can play at UAB Stadium. Fight there.
Hold on, man. You talking about one of the longest reigning WBC champions, 10 title defenses, And you saying the only place he can
Sound
fight.
like hey, you sound like you introducing Booker T. You know
What?
how you know how Booker T be saying what he be saying? How many time champion he done been WCW champion? They were using it
10
10
times, something like
times.
that.
Huh?
But what I'm saying is, you got, come on now. He held the belt 5 years.
Maybe
10
the bar.
titles
Okay,
defenses.
okay. If they were fighting at the Barclays, I would favor Wilder. If they fight in the UK at any venue, I favor Chisora right now. Wilder pretty nasty at that Barclays. At least he has been.
Okay. That's all I'm trying, get a man a little something,
Give him some leeway, ain't it?
Yeah, because you're going to just stick him in Alabama like that. I'm
So I'm
like,
about
come
to
on
put him
now,
in a
that's
high school gym.
disrespectful.
He got to be fighting in a high school gym in Tuscaloosa.
I can't stand you right now. Cause boy, hey, what's 5 times 5? I don't know what that's referring to.
And I'm talking about the doggone Tupelo. I think Tupelo is in Mississippi. Yeah,
Yeah, Tupelo, Mississippi. I don't know.
I think I said Tupelo. I was trying to say Tuscaloosa, but yeah.
Nah, you said Tupelo, so at least you put him in. That's another place you putting him in, but
Yeah,
still, that's
it's
a
close
pretty small
proximity.
place. You just. I'm gonna let Wilder
Hey,
get
you
that.
never know. What's the name? Them fought in Memphis. Who was it? Mike Tyson and Lenny Lewis. You know what I'm saying? They fought in Memphis in that pyramid because Mike Tyson couldn't get licensed nowhere.
Okay, that's like Ali fighting
In Atlanta.
Right, because he couldn't get a license nowhere.
Yep.
But they can get licenses anywhere.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know why Wilder been getting knocked around. He might have trouble getting a license right now.
Wow, so now you're saying he done got beat so bad that people are like, nah, we ain't gonna
Well,
fight here.
they be suspending him, man, and then he done got a bad loss and then got knocked out right after that. So a few months later, so he might be on suspension.
But Jerry Hearn got knocked out.
Yeah, he was suspended for a little bit too.
Right. I mean, not Jerry. Yeah, Jerry. Wait, I said Jerry.
Oh, you talking about Anderson, Jerry Anderson? Yeah, you're right.
Anderson.
Yeah, that's a quick turnaround for the way he got beat, man, for real. Back to our original conversation, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I don't know how much time will pass, because like these months and weeks be flying by, but it don't seem like it been very long ago, man. Like at the most it was about 3-4 months ago. That kind of quick to get beat like that and then be back in, you know what I'm saying? But I guess it's supposed to be a soft touch.
All I can say is I don't know how long. I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, but I do freshly remember.
You can freshly remember how it went down, though, can't you? Like yesterday.
That's exactly what's going on.
That's why I said I don't think it been that long.
It ain't that hazy. So yeah, with that so freshly in my mind, I just don't see. I don't know. I don't know. He gonna really have to go out there and impress me. But right now, all I know is he was soft before he got knocked out. And then he got knocked out. That's all I know is he was talking soft before he got knocked out, and then the next thing you know, he was getting knocked out. He was talking soft, and then before the fight, he was talking that talk like, yeah.
He was talking that big talk before the fight, like, hey, he just come. It was a foregone conclusion. He gonna go ahead and just clean this big dude up and go on to the next fight.
You know what? He might have had watched Michael Hunter beat up on McCauley and was like, "Oh, this ain't." I mean, please.
Yeah, I didn't ever see that fight, but from my understanding, McCauley got an injury in it, like a shoulder injury in that fight or something, tore his shoulder or something. So I don't think it was just Michael Hunter just went out there and just beat him up. He might have outboxed him.
Let that be the excuse they try to give after he got his ass.
No. I'm saying I think that's why it went down as a stoppage. I think it was kind of like how Vitali got stopped against Chris Bird. I think it was a similar situation where the guy he got an injury and couldn't continue.
I got to spice it up a little bit. We got to
entertain the people. Yeah, like I said, I ain't never seen the fight. This is just what I hearsay. You know what I'm saying? This is just what I've heard other people saying about it. I actually been meaning to go watch that fight, and I just don't ever think about it when I be looking at past fights. And
Or
I done
maybe he
got to
didn't
where
look at the fight,
I don't
and
know if
maybe he
you.
just heard about it.
Yeah, he probably know more. I'm sure he probably know more about the fight than I do. But well, I imagine he would. Or somebody on his team would. But I was gonna tell you, I don't know if you be seeing my posts in the Discord. I got that Pluto app, which is a free app on if you got smart TV. And they
Yeah.
got Ring TV. Ring TV got a channel on there. Top Rank got a channel on there, and DAZN got a channel on there. And then when you go to On Demand Sports, you can watch old fights on there too. So just putting that out there for you and anybody in the chat that don't know about it. If y'all want, because they show classic fights all day long on all three of the channels. You know what I'm saying?
On
Live,
Pluto?
not live, but like just one after the other. But then they also got an on demand, sports on the Pluto app where you can go and look at those fights on demand. Just look at whatever they have on demand in the catalog. They got a couple documentaries on there too.
Okay. I'm gonna check that out because I got Pluto on my TV.
Mm-hmm.
Lala Dita just swung into the building. What's up, sis? What's going down? So,
So
D-Lo,
Lala.
since you done already just down talked on Wilder like that,
No,
and
man. Hey, I'm still a fan of Wilder, man. I ain't, I'm just calling it, how I see it, man.
I
Hey,
understand.
like, hey, that man said bet the house, did he? I can't see the chat, but ain't that what he said?
Yeah, he said which one y'all gonna bet the house on?
Yeah,
Chisora or Wilder?
that's why I said if I gotta bet the house on Wilder, he had to be fighting Alabama and Chisora in London, in the UK. Yeah, he ain't say if I had to bet $20 was when I'd have just said Wilder with no hesitation.
Is Keyshawn fighting this weekend?
Yeah.
Who he fighting?
But Ranchik, you must have stepped away when Trey was talking about it. It was fun. The
Yeah,
first
because
fight he talked about.
I had to run. I had to
Yeah,
make
you had to
old
make
man
grown up. You
run.
had to make grown up run.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I got you. Yeah, Baranchik, however you say his name. He was talking about how they both are 4-point bona fide 4.5s, bona fide Olympic silver medalists, and not UABA. Is it UAB? Not UA. God dog, I don't went blank. Anyway, worlds. They both won silver in worlds and in the Olympics. And they both bona fide 4.5, but Baranchik is like 36. I think Keyshawn somewhere between 24, 26 years old. Versus
I
this
thought
guy.
he was 25.
Yeah, I'll say between 24 and 26. So he's 25. So if he's 25 and this guy 36 years old. So
Oh,
that,
that's a
so he got age on the side. But you never know. That dude game, but like Trey said, he won his belt. I think he won the vacant belt against Navarrete in a fight that wasn't, what I'm saying, it wasn't like he just went out there and just put on a virtuoso performance or nothing. It was a pretty, it was kind of a back and forth type thing, and it wasn't really the best fight. Because Navarrete was out of, he just didn't look like himself at that weight. Yeah, he went back while he went back down.
well, the age may play a difference. This might be a setup for Keyshawn to go. Where if they both the same thing, it could be a great fight. Cause what is it? The prime?
Yeah, that prime window.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baranchik is probably closer to the outside of it.
Yeah, he
Pretty much
probably getting
out of
ready
it.
to
Yeah.
go out of it, but
If he may,
he's still
if he
right
ain't
in there.
out of it, it ain't the same for everybody. But and then
It's
he,
not.
depending on how many amateur fights he had and all that stuff. Like I'd
How
say,
much
you
wear
look
and
at
tear.
a guy like Lomachenko. I think by the time Lomachenko was about 33, he was out of his prime. Maybe earlier than that.
Cause so many fights.
Yeah. Even though they were, 3-round fights.
Amateurs, but it's
Yeah.
still a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah.
You still gotta train for it. You still going out there getting hit without headgear and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, later they were. Initially, they probably weren't. Then Lomachenko also had those pro fights that they went back. They didn't count as pro fights because for marketability standpoint, it made it more marketable to say he won a belt in his second pro fight or third pro fight, whatever it was. versus counting all those World Series of boxing fights that he had, which I think was about a handful at least 5, 6, maybe 9. I can't remember exactly, but he had some actual pro fights that they didn't count as pro fights. Same thing like Usyk did. Usyk was in some of them. I think Joe Joyce might have had some in there. I can't remember now. I don't even really remember the significance of why they had what they were doing with that thing. But they had some fights that these guys that don't count on these guys' records as amateur or pro fights. But to me, they were pro fights. And I want to say Matchroom put them on. Some of them.
Well, we have seen them try to change Lomachenko's record right before our eyes.
Friday did.
ESPN. Yeah.
Hey, I feel like they were just testing to see if nobody would have made a lot of fuss about it, they left it. They'd have fixed it for good.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was. That was disrespectful to the fans and to the guys who had them beat him.
Yeah, what was the guy's name that told Andre?
At that time, it was just Solito, Orlando Solito. Yeah. Tough, rugged Mexican guy. Don't play. One of them guys who record don't really, do him justice. He got one of them fool you records.
There was some good talent.
Yeah, and I beat some good fighters. I think I might be wrong, but I think Orlando Solito, I want to say he beat what's that boy name? Robert Guerrero. I think he beat Robert Guerrero when they took it off the record. I think Solito tested positive or something. And it might have been like a recreational drug, like it might have been weed or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But I want to say that was Solito that beat Robert Guerrero before he fought Floyd, and they took it off his record. Kind of like what happened with Devin. But I'll tell you, he ruined one of my fight that I had been looking forward to back in the day. That was Juan versus Gamboa. That was like one of them little man like Pacquiao Marquez fights. You know what I'm saying? That I was real high on. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't wait to watch. And what happened was, I think see how it went. Gamboa fought Solito and beat him, but he got dropped in that fight. Gamboa used to get dropped all the time, even in win. All right, and then Juan fought this dude named Rodas Intagua. I think he was from like Ghana or somewhere. Then the very next card, they switched opponents. Because they was trying to build, you know how Bob Arum, he was trying to marinate it, right? So the next card, they switched opponents. Well, Juan fought Solito in the main event, and Gamboa fought Intagua. Gamboa did his job. Juan ended up getting stopped by Solito. And then they ended up, he ended up having a rematch Solito again, and he got stopped again. And that was the end. That killed that fight. But yeah, Solito was like that, man. Like I say, he had one of them fool you records.
I'm tripping. I'm tripping. But do that say from Lala D? She was telling Hyphy, but she know a guy on YouTube. Ain't gonna say his name. Lost his house betting on Wild.
House? So he bet so much money that he couldn't pay his house note.
Hey, he claims he really gave up his house. Gave his house up.
He probably bet more. He probably been with the money he supposed to pay for it, paid on his house. So he probably took out a loan on his house. Yeah, took out a loan or something, and just knew he was gonna cash in. That's very irresponsible. Hey, that's very irresponsible. Hey, it make me feel better about some of the dumb bets I be making because I do not be risking my personal stuff. When I show
it, he bet his home.
Man,
he bet his home. But
I don't even know how you could do such a thing.
if he owned the house and he got a deed to
So
it,
I guess he just went and took his deed, like how people do with cars, and take the pink slip down there and put his. God almighty, well, you got to be more careful. Whew.
you know how long it's been since I heard somebody say that old ass saying right there.
Hey, sometimes it still warrant them old ass saying, cause ain't nothing not today gonna align with with doing some dumb stuff like that, man. Goodness gracious. This man done bet his house on a box on something he got no control over. Man, no. Not a skills game. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, come on, man. That's crazy.
So he had to lose it in the Fury Wilder fight.
Hey, but I tell you what, I think I can't say for sure, but I think some people lost stuff they couldn't afford to lose in that Spence Crawford fight. Because I will tell you, man, it was some grown men crying, disappeared, took channels down, all kind of stuff. And some, you know what I'm saying, like some you had people actually talking about bets they had them made with them and they ain't been able to get a hold of them. So you had, man, I think it was a lot of, I forget what they call it when you be making these bets you can't cover. There's a term for that, but it was a lot of that going on. Where they was out here putting up, you know what I'm saying, betting.
Oh, they betting and hoping that they win. They
yeah, talking that big talking. You know how it is, man. You know how people act, you know, like me. Man, who I am on here when I talk to y'all, or if I talk to y'all behind the scene, the person I tell y'all I am and the person I present myself to be on here is who I really am. You know what I'm saying? But some people see this as an opportunity to reinvent themselves. And they be, you know, I think they start believing what they saying, like by how much money they got and this, that, and the other. And man, I think some of these folks went out here and put some bets down that they wouldn't nowhere near in the financial position to cover. And when they lost them bets, they had to get gone.
See, Lala D right. She said, I could tell he wasn't lying. He sounded like he just left the therapist. And then she laughed.
Man, that's funny.
That's crazy, man.
MZ.
Yeah.
Can you feel sorry for somebody who did something like that, man?
You say, could I feel sorry for him?
Yeah.
No, I can't feel sorry for him. Why would I feel sorry for him?
I would feel sorry. I would feel sorry for, like, if they got a family. I feel sorry for the other people who he basically made them his victim. They're a victim who bad decisions. Huh?
You said if I feel sorry for him. No,
right, that's what I said. I can feel sorry for their family and other people who are impacted by their bad decision, poor decision making. But after that person themselves, man, I can't feel sorry for that.
I guess that's when they say you got to be sick. Can you imagine? I couldn't even imagine going. I couldn't. No, I'm coming to the house, man. How was your day? We need to talk.
Yeah.
What's wrong, baby? Sit down, cause it's gonna hurt.
Hey, imagine the wife or we were pulling up in the driveway in this moving van out there.
So the people that you lost the bet to, they gonna pay to get your ass up there. Yeah, I'm gonna
honey, you want to talk? There's something you want to talk to me about?
No, that ain't what the fuck? I mean, my bad.
Right.
What the hell going on around here?
We got new furniture.
Somebody better tell me something.
Look, hey, I bet that woman like, you better be refurnishing the whole house.
Baby, when they go with the bed and stuff, I just got that bed. Well, I gotta tell you something real quick. We moved.
Yeah. Well, where to?
We just got this house.
You know that new motel they built. You know that new hotel they built up there on at the intersection. Yeah, we gonna stay there for a little while.
You better be talking about we gonna stay there because we own it.
Man, these jokes.
We must have owned that motherfucker because we just got this house. I can hear all kind of crazy conversations going on.
I tell you what, it ain't my business. But whoever this is, they need to be told on. Talk about, hey, God, I don't be want to put folk business out there, but I think I'd be like, yeah, this is who it was. And look how dumb he is.
Man, Lala said, I ain't gonna say his name. I ain't gonna say his name though.
Ooh, Lord. That's
But I
crazy.
can tell he wasn't lying because he sounded like he just come from a therapist.
So he told everybody. So sound like he told everybody he lost his house.
Sounds like it. So her saying his name wouldn't really be telling on it.
No, he told us. Yeah, we just went in the present. We just went in the number to hit.
It'd just be helping him to reach out to more people, you know.
Hey, but that's just like the one dude. I ain't gonna say it name because this is all speculation, but you know, he supposedly, and a lot of people know who I'm talking about, you know, depending on who in the chat or whatever, but you know, supposedly had a wreck and like were asking for money and stuff, and then they say he didn't even really have no wreck. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think he might have started a GoFundMe or something, or asked for cash outs or whatever. Supposedly had a wreck. And you know what I'm saying? And people saying that was all made up, wasn't even true. So people be pulling all kind of shenanigans and stuff on here, man.
But still,
Folks had been in the hospital near
lost your
death.
house in a bit.
Yeah, that's some wild stuff, man.
You come on, stop playing. But why would you make up a story like that? Oh well, I know why you make up a story like that. The same way the dude that had the accident that didn't have the accident.
Nah, but that's a hell of a story to make up, man. Like that, man.
I would be scared to do something like that because I feel like when you put that kind of energy into the universe, it'll come to you.
I think it happened. I think I'm like Lala. I believe it really happened. If a guy here telling that, you know, some stuff, man, like some stuff just too ridiculous to even get out there and lie about. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if you tell it, you're trying to get ahead of it because you don't want people to hear about it anyway. People gonna hear about it. Rather let them hear it for you so you can tell your side of the story. And at the end of the day, on something like that, though, it happened. It's what it was. Ain't no way to sugarcoat it.
Well, see, first of all, do you tell people, oh yeah, man, this fight, I put my house up. Do you start off like that? Or do you just come all of a sudden and say, man, y'all, I lost my
I messed up.
I messed up bad, y'all. What happened? I lost my house in the bed, man.
I tell you what, man. If he got a woman that was with him in that situation, she's still with him. He got a good one. Know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or a dumb one, or dumb one, whatever you want to call it. But hey,
cause about good.
Cause I'll tell you, that ain't no situation where a lot of people go just hang in there with you.
Do that say the Latino dude? You know who that is?
They probably talking about the wreck. They probably talking about the car wreck. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that look, that done blew my mind. If I was, I don't know if you've been smoking, but I don't even know if I was a smoker and I was high, hearing that news would have blew my high.
To be honest with you, I haven't been blowing no flowers. And I'm at the very end of this pen that I got, because you know I call myself letting it go for
trying to cut back.
My daughter is like, "Dad, for real?" But I know why. Cause you know she feel like she could just reach in my little tray and help herself. You know, Dad, let me get a dude. No.
You trying to cut back? Gonna cost her money.
It's gonna cost. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna cost her. Didn't think of it like that, D-Lo. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking that she like, okay, Dad, I feel you. I'm like, nah, it's about that time, though. You know. Yeah.
Lost this house, man.
Man, you're right. I can think of a whole bunch of stuff to say.
Man, you ever seen that movie called Lady Killer with Where they was trying to do this robbery, and they was in this old lady house, and they was trying
Oh
to.
yeah, and they dug that tunnel.
You're right. You seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen
You
that.
you remember when Marlon Wayans' character was like just dumbfounded when that dude brought his girlfriend when they was talking about the robbery, and he was like, "You brought your beef to the Waffle Hut." You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah. So they was at the restaurant planning the robbery, and he brought his girlfriend, big old tall woman named Mountain Girl or whatever. And
With
that
Tom Hanks, right?
Tom Hanks was in it. I forgot what the guy name was that brought his girlfriend to the meeting for them to talk about the robbery. And Marlon Wayans was just dumbfounded by the fact that he brought his girlfriend to the meeting. And every time the dude would say so, he would cut him off and say, "Man, you brought your B to the Waffle Hut." That's the same. All I can think about is this man bet his house on a boxing match. Like, man, who does that?
I'm
He must
still
have
finding
multiple.
it.
He must
I'm
have
finding it hard.
several houses.
See, now you making him like, no, he can't have several houses because Lala D said he sound like he just left the therapist about that shit. Or maybe he do
Hey,
got a lot of money
he
and
booking.
he got a lot of
Hey, he
houses.
just booking therapy session in the house with a roof over his head for an hour, or 2 hours.
That's messed up. I need to go to therapy so I can get away from this woman.
Get out here, get us some air conditioner or some heat.
One or the other, huh?
Man, that is.
Yeah, I just can't see it though, man.
That's insane, man. Hey, I'm kicking myself in the butt because I bet a couple $100 more than I should have on the Detroit game. A few weeks ago. Ain't no way in the world I would bet a possession. Like I wouldn't bet a car on a sporting event. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about no car like people go get. I'm talking about a car that I paid cash for. I wouldn't bet something like that on no sporting event, let alone talking about betting a house that I got to live in.
I just no. I can't. No, not a house, not a car, not a bicycle, not
Nope.
some skates, a skateboard, a scooter, nothing of that level would I be like, yeah, let's go and bet that. Why?
Right.
Why would I do that? I'm not betting anything that I'm like, this is what I want. I'm gonna put this up in. No, I'm not doing it. If I got a little extra change that I feel like I can lay it on the line, I got my budget. I'm not going outside my budget. Car is out my budget. House, most definitely out my budget.
Yeah, definitely out the budget.
Most definitely. I hope everybody that hears us talk about this cat. I'm sorry that they make some jokes.
I hope somebody go back and who know who we talking about hear this and go back and man, they spent about 30 minutes clowning you about that. Man, he need to be clowned. Whoever he is.
Can you imagine coming home from school?
Right.
Kid,
your key don't fit in the door. Ain't nobody told you nothing.
The moving van still there. Oh, the moving truck still there. You coming home with your friends and they talking about you ain't even tell us you was moving. I ain't know we was moving. Where we moving to? What neighborhood? I'm finna lose all my friends in school. You lost more than that, Junior.
Yeah, ain't gonna be no neighborhood.
Whew. So where he finna go live? How is he still doing shows? Why is he on YouTube if he even lost his house? The YouTube, any kind of platform would be the last place I'd try to be. The last place I'm trying to be.
Hey, he need to be picking up a second job, don't he?
Sound like he needs 3 jobs.
Hey, he done went and messed off his house. He need to work 2 full-time jobs. No excuse.
How do you ask somebody to let you? Where you gonna stay? We assuming that he by himself. That's what that's right. The best assumption I could make is that he by himself.
Look, I don't know a grown man that I would let live with me who told me that they lost their house in a bet.
Now these,
Include my kids. You know what I'm saying?
what about in the garage?
Man, please. Hey, if you that careless, I don't want you around my stuff when I ain't around. If that's how much you care about your own stuff, that you don't bet a whole house on a sporting event. You know you don't care nothing about nothing of mine.
That motherfucker gonna bet your house and don't even have
Hey, man, please. You're trying to bounce back. Hey, I bet the car. But it's a sure thing though.
I bet this mafia member that he can have this house if we lost this bet. What you talking about if we lost this? You ain't got no power to be betting this house.
Right.
When Louis and Frank Lucas didn't show up, I'm just gonna tell them y'all might well take him and kill him. I ain't gonna tell nobody I seen y'all come get him. I ain't gonna do none of that. But this ain't his house to be betting, so y'all go ahead and have that. Say, I want to bounce this. You know ASAP Rocky, right? You heard of him?
Yeah. I heard y'all talking about that earlier.
Right. So I wanted to ask you, first of all, that's almost like the house getting lost in the bet. The world know that either you can't fight ASAP Rocky because the story that I'm hearing from the lawyers and everything that the dude that he supposedly shot, he got a prop gun. And they explaining why he has this prop gun instead of a real weapon, which if you're willing to carry a prop gun, that means you're not willing to squeeze the trigger and kill somebody, which I can respect that. I can also respect that maybe ASAP Rocky can't really fight because throughout this whole ordeal, the dude that supposedly got shot because he could feel the heat in his knuckles because he felt something rub across his fingers. That's his testimony of being shot, not a bullet hole in his body. It's like the bullet ricocheted off the ground and skinned his hand, which they found no shells. Nothing's been damaged by a bullet or anything, but the gun was shot like 3 times.
And that's on a real trial. Like this ain't a pre-trial type thing. This done actually made it.
Yeah,
they done been indicted and went to real trial.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And this all came to be because he wanted to do a what's the other trial? Not the criminal. He wanted to do the civil. He wanted to do a civil, but the lawyer told him that you can't do a civil if you gonna do a criminal.
Right. So basically, you need to get him convicted. Then we can go for some money.
Or you just gotta bring it up in criminal, I guess. You know what?
I got you.
So is it a money grab? Seems like it because the dude
sound like it.
Yeah. And the thing is, what's bad is the world looking at ASAP Rocky like, dude, you walking around with a fake gun. This trial, in so many words, could have put a target on the boy. And I'm like, you got all this money. Why don't you learn how to do some karate or some jujitsu or some just plain how to keep a motherfucker off you? But walking around with a fake gun, you can't protect Rihanna with that.
Yes, to be honest, I'm glad for the other guy, but he lucky it was a fake gun.
Well, that's the thing. Listening to one of the witnesses, the guy knew that ASAP carried a fake gun. He knew it because during the confrontation, the boy said, "Go and shoot that fake ass shit then." This is according to another witness.
So a court stenographer had to type that shit. So the court reporter had to type up, "Go and shoot that fake shit."
Yeah, he had to because they said it. So they had to say, they gotta type what you saying in court. The judge didn't say strike it.
Man, that's crazy. Where you seeing this at, man? I ain't even know. I ain't even know nothing about this.
Man, I'm telling you,
They got
it's
it public,
ridiculous.
so they showing it like they were doing the YSL trial.
Yeah, like that. But now I'm seeing all the stuff coming. Somebody got it recorded on the YouTube. They said Rocky's trial, and I'm like, wow, these people are really doing this. The lawyers are fighting with each other because ASAP Rocky lawyer is like a dude from Boston to New York. He got one of those kind of swaggers about himself, and he be trying, he said what he said, and the prosecutor steady saying, say I say objection, Your Honor, right?
Uh-huh.
The prosecutor like, Your Honor, if he say objection, he's supposed to give law. Like, why are you objecting? Instead of just saying objection, the judge is like, dude, I pretty much know what he's saying objection for.
Man, that sounds like a big blunder.
It is. It is a big blunder, but it's crazy because I'm like, dude, y'all haven't found a gun, no bullets. The bullet shells that y'all claim y'all found, the dude who's accusing ASAP of shooting him is the one that found the bullet shells.
Man, you know who getting over? You know what this is? Who getting over this whole thing? Them lawyers.
Oh, they winning.
They just they like something that shouldn't have went to trial, but they
They
like
winning.
them lawyers like, no, we finna drag this thing out. We gonna get this money, cause they do be working together, man. I remember years ago I was in an accident on a job. It couldn't work, and I had to get a attorney to you know what I'm saying, because they ended up letting me go from the job because I wouldn't sign a thing saying they wanted me to sign something saying that they weren't responsible, and I wouldn't sign it, so they fired me. So yeah, I still had doctor's appointments and stuff. I had my back, and so I ended up getting this lawyer, like this injury attorney, and I went to when I did my deposition at his office. And I had left out, and I had to come back in because I had left something in the room. Man, him and the other lawyer, they ended up just chewing the fat. You know what I'm saying? Just chopping it up, having a good old conversation, talking about the case. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I knew then it wasn't gonna work out in my favor. And the only people who came out good on that were them two lawyers.
So you got hurt at work, and then they fired you too.
Yeah, man. You know how
Wow, that
much?
is like
Hey,
so
this
against the
was in
law.
2020. I'll tell you, not 2020, 2000. This is 2000. I would tell you how much money. I'll tell you how much money I got. After they took out what they were gonna take out, I got $1,150. After everything was said and
What?
told, I was out of work for about 4 months and fired and couldn't get a job because I couldn't work. You know what I'm saying? But that how bad it was with them lawyers working together against me and for the insurance company and the company I work for.
Man, I guess I could just say I was blessed when I got hurt, cause the fight that they had for me in my arm and everything, even though they was like, oh, we got you got blood in your system. I'm like, yeah, I just came off a vacation. I was on vacation. I smoked. You know, I was
Right.
hurt.
Yeah, it ain't the thing about marijuana. They can't tell if you smoked that morning or you smoked a week ago.
Oh, I know. No.
Yeah.
So we went through the battle. I was blessed to have a lawyer that actually
Work
fought
for you. Yeah.
fought the way I wanted him to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And the company was they lawyer, straight up, no bullshit, D-Lo. They lawyer told me, he felt what it was I was going through. The man could see what was up with me. He was like, if the ruling go against you, I mean go for you, he said, I'm not gonna turn around and retry it, which they're supposed to do. And you got 3 weeks. They have like
Right.
three
Basically like
weeks to
doing an appealing the
right.
decision.
They have
Yeah.
enough time to. So what he was saying, he wasn't gonna do it. And true to face, I say all the time, God had me from the beginning to the end of it. This man waited till the time was up and then filed, where he knew that the judge was gonna shoot it down because the
Right.
judge had
Right.
said.
He did what he had to do to save face with his client.
Right. But he
But
kept his word.
yeah, I make it seem like, oh, I just, it was a technicality, but I ain't nothing we can do about it now. It's too late.
Yeah. That type thing. So
Yeah, that's all right though.
it was, it's the one time that I can say that I've been in a situation surrounded by Caucasians where everybody kept their word.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a rarity.
No shot at the Caucasians or anything because, I got some in my family. Love them to death. But that's the only way I can describe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no other description for it. That's the first
yeah.
one.
Hey, that is what it is.
They kept it real. They kept it real.
Yeah, you have that sometime. More time than not, it don't work out that way though. I'm glad it worked out that way for you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hate that
well,
it worked out for you like it did.
yeah,
Because I just couldn't
hey, I
say
was
you
all
gonna
right, man.
get hurt and fired.
I'm gonna tell you, I knew before then, because when you're in a situation like a deposition, right? Your lawyer is supposed to be there looking out for your best interest. So when the other people asking you certain things, you looking at your lawyer like, do I have to answer that? And you like looking at the lawyer like, why ain't you saying something? Why are they asking me this stuff? So one of the things, like I had a bad feeling about it because we was in deposition. Instead of them asking me about the accident, they were asking me about like my vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Like how many cars you got? Um, what you pay for them? Do you pay cash for that? There's a lot of stuff that I'm looking at like, man, what did this have to do with what happened to me? You know what I'm saying? What this got to do with me, you know what I'm saying, getting hurt? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I felt like during the whole process that they weren't for me. And my lawyer wasn't for me because he didn't interject. And then when I looked at him, he was like, yeah, just answer the question. It's okay. This is normal. I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of just like felt like that it was about something that it was totally shouldn't have been about. So it was like I kind of already had the feeling that it wasn't gonna go my way. And then like afterwards, my lawyer was never calling me. I was calling up there. You know what I'm saying? Then he'll call me back days later. So I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna go well.
That's great. Like I said, I hate that you had to go through it.
Yeah, when I was, like I said, I was young, man. I was like 20 years old at the time. So I even though I was hurt, I knew I'd bounce back because I wasn't like nothing like I had had no surgery or nothing like that. I just had, just had some bad pain in my back for some months, but it would get gradually getting better. But I still felt like I should have been taken care of. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it was all good. I just had to adapt and figure out a way.
Yeah, you adapted. Too bad Kansas City didn't adapt. Man, you know, I done sit here and I done got a little hungry myself. And I got to go to school tomorrow. I had class today as well. But I thought I'd come on here on a Monday, do a pop up, talk about the Eagles and Kansas City, and ended up talking about a little bit of boxing. One of my favorite folks. D'Lo just disappeared like that on the brother. Dang. I said, I'm hungry. He said, fuck it, I'm out. Oh, there you go. He back. And I don't know what's going on. It's like his internet might be doing something crazy, y'all. I get to shoot some slugs right now because he can't get his stuff right. Bow, 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 bow. But try and give him a couple more seconds before it's time for us to bounce up out of here. Because I got to go to school tomorrow and Wednesday. But like I said, I wanted to do a pop up and talk about the Super Bowl and a little bit about Kendrick Lamar. And we end up talking a little bit about boxing, which is always a great thing. I'm going to see what I can come hit y'all with tomorrow. But with that, I'm going to have to say peace. I'm going to stop the stream. See what's going on. I'm trying to let you in, but it won't let me click you in. It say that they're yeah, it won't let you in. Yeah, come back in. Let's see what happened then. All right, well, it's better than the Super Bowl. What is that? I don't know what that is, Heisey. But I'm gonna say good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for stopping. Oh, there you go. He got back in here.
Yeah,
What
I don't
happened?
know. Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. I think I might have hit something laughing.
What was you laughing at?
What you had said? You said
Oh,
something.
okay.
I forgot what you said. Something had me laughing. Oh, you were talking about the Kansas
Marcus.
City Chiefs. Talking about they too bad they couldn't bounce back.
Yeah, they couldn't. Shit, you seen what was happening out
So they
there.
too bad they couldn't adapt. They was over there looking bewildered.
That dude was crying hard, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He was crying hard. Like
damn,
his body
damn
was
near,
shaking. He was crying.
damn near snotting up and everything.
Let me see. He was crying hard. I was like, my daughter, you heard the story I told you my daughter said about, about Patrick Mahomes and his
Mm-hmm.
wife with the fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
They just got their asses beat.
Yeah.
Or as you put
Hey,
it, built to ass.
that flat girl magic didn't work for them that week.
That's so unfair. Just cause the dude a little bright skin and he like a little cream.
No, I'm talking about Travis Kelce wife, girlfriend, wife, whatever, Taylor Swift.
Oh, you talking
That
about
was
Swifty?
that flat girl magic.
That dude can't block, man. He cannot block. I'm gonna keep saying that. I saw the camera. I was like, "Who is that?" And they said, "That's Taylor Swift boyfriend." I was like, "He can't block." They was like, "But they be talking about he this and he that. He not Grunt. Grunt could block. It took him a long time to even catch a ball in that game. But I
Yeah,
know he got Patrick Mahomes sacked twice.
most of the best tight ends they good blockers too. I mean, they might not block the best defensive linemen and stuff, but I mean they get them linebackers down.
Okay, so why is he so talked about? What is unrivaled?
What somebody trying to get him to check?
No, that's hyphy.
Oh, he said something's unrivaled.
It's better than the Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he was talking about the halftime show. I don't know.
I enjoyed the halftime show. Trey didn't, Trey rather pass on the coach, but he gave his reason.
Yeah, I usually don't watch them, man. I tell you, which I don't watch I ain't watched a whole lot of Super Bowl lately either. But I mean, but when I did watch Super Bowls all the time, I typically would skip out on the halftime show. Now I did when Prince did it. I think I watched it, and I think when
Right.
Janet Jackson did it that time, I might have watched it. But you know what I'm saying? And I might have watched one of them. I might have watched the halftime show and then watch the game. But
Didn't Mike do the first one?
I remember Mike doing one years ago. But I'm saying, like, I don't I was actually gonna leave and go to the store during the halftime, man, and I was slowing around getting out the door, and I looked at how they was all dressed and stuff, man, and I was, I really was digging the whole, what I'm saying, the way everything was put together, and I was like, man, we'll sit down and look at it for a couple minutes, see if it worked. Sitting, shoot, next thing I know, I done sat there and watched the whole show. So I enjoyed it. I mean, it just like Trey said, man, I don't really know that dude music. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple of the songs, they sounded like I had heard them before, but I didn't know they were his songs. And then the only song I really know that I could name, if you just ask me to name one of his songs, it's just that Not Like Us. That's the only one I really know. And I don't really know the song. I just know that it's his song. Like far as like the lyrics and all that, like I couldn't rap along to the song.
Right.
But
I can't rap along to the song either.
But I enjoyed the performance though. I really enjoyed it. It was pretty. It was. I was definitely surprised at it. I know a lot of people talking bad about it though, but I think it's just because they and their feelings about Drake, and I just think that whole. I've been saying people all day like all that. Rap beef. That's just BS. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
right.
It ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah. Now, the only thing I will say, if the stuff that the man says about Drake is true, then yeah, somebody do need to put a spotlight on it. You know what I'm saying? Because people like that, regardless of who they are and their fame and popularity, that don't excuse them to be able to just do what they want to do in the world. So if you know what I'm saying, truly, if he that type of person, it need to be pointed out. But aside from that, I don't care nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I just,
Right.
you know, like I just don't care about that whole rap beat thing. It just so I mean, I just happen to think the song, you know, go hard. But as far as
Well,
like the whole thing about what's going on with him and Drake or whatever, like I don't really care for this stuff.
Well, my point, I guess, that I was trying to drive about it is for the people that's claiming it. You know, you got the Drake fans,
Yeah,
but you
that's what
got
it
the
is,
people
man.
that's
They just that's just like people complain about certain fighters getting fights. You know what I'm saying? Like it's BS because it ain't the fighter they want to see getting the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So it's
well, let's
like,
go make them happy. When Beyonce started singing country, that was a problem.
mhm.
Little Nas X, when he did the horse song,
Old Town Road or something like that.
Old Town Road, so he
Yeah,
did that. The country people complained about that. That wasn't country, but it
yeah.
was, and all it took.
He had one of they legends in on the song with it with Billy Ray
That's
Cyrus.
when they accepted it.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to get to.
Okay. Okay.
He had to go get one of them to get accepted.
But
Beyonce from Texas,
he
how
had to
she not
get stamped.
go? Yeah, he had to get it stamped, and they tried to put Beyonce through the same thing. Now here this dude is Kendrick Lamar. He a Pulitzer Prize winner. The dude got a Pulitzer Prize, a Pulitzer, man, and a bunch of their Grammys.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And they talking about this dude ain't good. He just an artist that they mad. If Drake not even he
Yeah,
a Canadian.
they picking sides, and there's a dude from my old town was talking about it. They talking about so well. I got the message about unity, but at the same time, he gonna perform a song where he dissing Drake. So where's the unity? Where the sticking together and that? I was like, dude, Drake ain't no American. Like then you notice the theme was, you know what I'm saying? Like I like, dude, Drake from Canada. Like his dad, I think Drake's dad is from Memphis. But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that dude's a Canadian. He identifies as a Canadian
Where was he born at?
in Canada.
Okay then. That's what he is. Now he might get some citizenship over here, but he a Canadian.
Right. So I like that, man. I gotta say, man, some of that stuff is like how to say I'm a Drake fan and I don't like Drake getting picked on without saying. That's really what all I'm saying, man. Like I'm a fan and I pick sides and this side I'm riding with. So that halftime show garbage. And but you got Rainwater gonna come out. Then I seen the video he did complaining, talking so we should have had Lil Wayne, this person, that person, some Mo3, this and I'm like, man, okay, so what we're gonna do? Have Mo3 song playing and you out lip singing the lyrics? I mean, that was to me that was stupid. Even bring up somebody who been dead for about 5 years, or however long he been dead. Like talking about, like that. But that just go to show how
Ignorant.
ignorant the situation is. Like you talking about, you went as far to bring on somebody that ain't even living. You know what I'm saying? It's something about, what you wanted to hear at the show. So I don't know, man. People just crazy.
They want that chicken to eat it too. I mean cake.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it was the guy was selected. I think they went out there. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't really care because I wasn't planning on watching. But when I did watch it, it definitely wasn't what I expected, and I appreciated it.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I caught another Super Bowl. I didn't watch that many football games, so I
I,
went.
I
I
didn't watch
didn't
that
go into
many
the
either.
Super Bowl like, ooh, look, the Super Bowl. It's supposed to be the best two teams, so I can just sit back and expect a good game. If this
Yeah,
was the best that the NFL had to offer, the Chiefs, as you can say, was 17-3. They ended up 17-3. So by their records, a person that haven't watched football is sitting down saying, "Oh, this should make for a great game." But then once the game broke down and everything started going, you actually seen who the better team is.
yeah, they separated the man from the boy. Then,
The shaft from the wheat.
yeah, I thought, I don't know what I was expecting. I expected it. I wasn't surprised that the Eagles handled them. I was surprised at how Kansas City responded. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fight got beat out of them within the first half of the game. They was already done. They was already done fighting back.
You know who who really fought back?
Who that?
Because you have to say Kansas City Chiefs offense didn't fight back. Their defense fought. They just got overwhelmed. They was on the field too much, too long.
Yeah. Because the
They,
offense,
as far as I'm concerned, they kept fighting. That offense just laid it down. That line.
If the offense can't get the defense no break, you can have the best defense in the world. They gonna have a hard night.
So if you look at, I see why they say it's the ultimate team game, because you need everybody. Everybody got to do their job, and you got to do your job well in order to succeed. I get because with basketball, that's not the ultimate team game. You can get a dominant player in that, but that can make differences. In football, it really takes both sides, all sides of the ball, from special teams on down the line.
Yeah, in basketball, you playing all phases of the game. If you're on the court, you got to play.
You playing defense, offense. You playing everything.
Right.
In football, it's just one job,
and you alternate every trip down the court. So
I'm gonna blame the defense. I mean, I'm gonna give the defense a little more credit for KC. But they offense, I'm gonna say, they offense. They didn't produce anything until the third quarter.
Yeah, they didn't start producing until the Eagles had pretty much won their celebration mode. Even though they were still out there playing hard, they had done already knew they had the game in hand at that point.
It's in my eyes. I can't unsee, like you said, Devin getting beat up, that boy crying on the bench. Patrick, I for real, I just can't unsee it, because he was crying. He was just crying hard. I almost felt bad for him, but I'm like, shit, you should be mad at your offense. I know I'll be. You hoes couldn't get. Y'all couldn't do nothing. The whole first half, y'all couldn't do nothing. Well, y'all let them score 24 points. What? What you just say?
Boy, hey, that boy couldn't even get a sip of Gatorade. It was time to go back out on the field.
Exactly. Well, hats off to Hurts. First Eagles quarterback to go to 2 Super Bowls. Just like they coach.
Yeah, well deserved. Great team effort. Everybody went out there and did their job.
Remember way back at the beginning of the season, I pulled a hyphy move and I was like, my team going to the Super Bowl. Who is your team? Whoever be there. Whoever wins.
Can't go wrong that way, can you?
Not at all. Not at all. D-Lo, I'm about to call it a night.
All right, hey.
Something to eat, being laid down.
All right, man. Good chopping it up with you, man. Glad I was able to catch you. And give a minute to hop on live for a change.
I surely appreciate you stopping through, hanging out. Everybody that stopped through, hung out with us, I appreciate it. I would give y'all a song, but I'm too hungry to wait for the song to stop playing. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight.
Well, we ain't betting the house on nothing.
Oh, hell no. No.
All right, it'll be all right.
All right, my brother, take it easy. Good night, everybody. Appreciate you stopping through.